All right, y'all. We give praise to Stephen, honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're going to pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me before he wrote it. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my word? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Come over here to number 7 and 84.
This was the dedication of the altar in the day when it was anointed by the
Yahuwah
priest. 12 chargers of silver, 12 silver bowls, 12 spoons of gold.
Yep.
Each charger of silver weighing 130 shekels, each bowl 70. All the silver vessels weighed 2,400 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. The golden spoons were 12, full of incense, weighing 10 shekels apiece. After the shekel of the sanctuary, all the gold of the spoons, 120 shekels. All the oxen for the burnt offerings were 12 bullocks. The rams 12, the lambs of the first year 12, with the meat offering, and the kids of the goats for sin offering 12. And all the oxen for the sacrifice of the peace offerings were 24 bullocks. The rams 60, the he goats 60,
Yep.
the lambs of the first year 60. This
Yep.
was the dedication of the altar. After that it was anointed. When
Yep.
Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with them, then he heard the voice of one speaking unto him from off the mercy seat.
From off the mercy
that was
seat.
upon the ark of testimony from between the two cherubims, and he spake unto him.
Give me Proverbs 20 and 28. Shalom.
Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy.
Mercy and truth do what?
Preserve the king,
And his throne is upholding by what?
by mercy.
1 Samuel 2 and 4. We're going to run some things down, just preliminary things that pertain to the throne, and then we're going to get into the veil and then the ark. More specifically, the veil.
The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread. They that were hungry cease, so that the barren have borne 7, and she that have many children is waxed feeble. Who will kill and make alive, he bring down to the grave and bring up. Who will make poor and make rich, he bring low and lift up. He raised up the poor out of the dust, and lifted the beggar from the dunghill, set them among princes, to make them inherit the throne of esteem.
Make him inherit the throne of what?
Of esteem, for the pillars of the earth are Yahuwah's, and he has set the world upon them.
Listen, he said that the throne of the what?
The throne of esteem.
Give him Luke 1 and 30.
And the Malachim said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for you have found favor with Elohim. Behold, you shall conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
Give him the what?
Unto him the throne of his father David.
What's going to happen with it?
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Very well, sir. Let's just get Job chapter 26, man. You can pick it up at verse 1.
But Job answered and said, How have you helped him that is without power?
Have you what?
Helped him that is without power.
Without what?
Without power.
Go ahead.
I'll save you the arm that had no strength.
Now pause. Because it was something that he read in Samuel. I don't think y'all caught it. Go back to 1 Samuel 2 and 4, man. Let me see if they catch it.
The bows of the mighty men are broken. They that stumble are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread. They that were hungry ceased, so that the barren have borne 7.
That the what?
That the barren have borne 7.
So Johnny, you call that? Scratching his knee. He ain't catch it. Read that last part again.
Say, so that the barren have borne 7. She that have many children is waxed feeble.
What y'all think that means?
The 7 synagogues?
Indeed. But how are they barren? Give him barren by definition, Sylvia.
That is our card, barren, sterile.
So how was he sterile, man? No. Why? How was he sterile? If he's sterile, can't have children. Yeah, he had no children until he rose from the dead. He's son of Adam. He was sterile. You sterile? Obviously not. I wish I would. I've considered it. Job 26:1.
But Job answered and said, how have you helped him that is without power? How say
Now that's where we stop. How have you helped him that was without what?
without power?
Now go read 1 Corinthians 15 and about 27. Shalom, me.
For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued unto
I'm
him,
gonna go to 33. We know it's time with it.
be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. Awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not the knowledge of Elohim. I speak this to your shame.
What else?
But some man will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come?
What kind of body they come with?
You fool, that which you sow is not quickened, except it die.
Except they what?
Except it die.
What else?
And that which you sow not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain. But Elohim give it a body as it have pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
Every seed his own body.
All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes.
You got the same flesh as a dog? Maybe a chicken or a bear. Go ahead.
And another of birds. There's also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. The esteem of the celestial is one, the esteem of the terrestrial is another.
Mm-hmm.
There's one esteem of the sun, another esteem of the moon, another esteem of the stars.
Mm-hmm.
One star differ from another star in esteem. So also the resurrection of the dead.
All right.
It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption.
It's sown in what?
It is sown in corruption,
It is raised.
and incorruption.
What up?
It is sown in dishonor,
It's what up?
raised in esteem. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power.
It's raised in what?
And power.
And what?
And power.
Go back to Job. Go ahead.
But Job answered and said, how have you helped him that is without power?
Now we see how he helped him who was without power. What's the other part?
How save you the arm that have no strength?
What you think that? How would you explain that, little Johnny? How you gonna say? How's the arm? How will save you the arm of no strength? We actually mentioned it last night. Joel, help you out. Let him that is weak say that I'm. That boy's stumbling.
Let the weak say they strong.
Yeah, but there's a verse we mentioned last night. He's stumbling right now. Give him first. What it is? 1 Corinthians 12 and 9. If it's not that, then it's 2 Corinthians 12 and 9 actually.
And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
That's how he saved the arm that ain't got no strength. So if his grace is sufficient for you in weakness, what does that mean? Now remember, if it's his grace, it's his favor, it's his loving kindness. So his loving kindness is sufficient for you in a weakened state. So this is how he saves the arm that has no strength. Or you can sit back and look at it, and tell you that he make his Kadash arm bare, and you can see how he saved Yahushua when he had no strength, when you know that he got strengthened by the Malachim. Let's continue, see, because this is just basic. Shalom, Garrett. This is baseline information. Go ahead. Verse 3. Job 26 and 3.
Say, how have you counseled him that have no wisdom? How have you plentifully declared the thing as it is?
Have you plentifully declared? What does that mean to plentifully declare? Tell them what plentifully means, that man.
That is broad, multitude, abundance, greatness.
So have you multiplied in declaring. Give them declare just in case they don't
That's
know.
yada. To know.
Read the verse again.
How have you counseled him that had no wisdom? How have you plentifully declared the thing as it is?
What did it mean to have no wisdom?
So understand.
Huh? No skill. Job 28:28.
And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, to depart from evil is understanding.
So if we counseling somebody who ain't got no wisdom, it's because they don't fear God. Give them Proverbs 1:1 on the screen.
The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Yasharal, to know wisdom and instruction, to receive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels.
Yep.
To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings.
Go ahead.
The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Fools despise coke and some Musa. They don't like that. So how did Yahushua counsel those who didn't have wisdom? Tell them what counsel means.
That is ya'at, to advise, consult, to give counsel.
How did he advise them? Now that's a conversation all into itself, to be 100% honest with you. So repentance is a part of it. That's a part of what he advised them. So that's when you sit here and pause, and we're not going to enumerate all of those things because that'll take us off the beaten path. But this is to cause you to think, what did he advise them to do? To fear God. Now, the average person gonna tell you to fear God and keep his commandments. They're gonna quote Ecclesiastes. But when you look at what Yahushua was telling them to do, what is the fear? It's to have reverence and awe and respect. When you look at the multitude of things that he told them to do, you know what the overarching theme was consistently? Was exactly in Micah. Do y'all know what's in Micah 6 and about verse 8 or verse 7? You know what it says, Sibby? You don't know what it says. You know what it says, Doris? Hell no. Read it for us, Sibby. Come on, Sibby.
He said, will Yahuwah be pleased with thousands of rams or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He hath showed you, O man, what is good, and what do Yahuwah require of you, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly.
To do what?
To do justly.
And love what?
Love mercy.
And what else?
To walk humbly with your Elohim.
That's what he advised them to do. Consistently. When he asked certain questions of them, that was for them to be able to do. When the woman was washing his feet, what he asked Peter? He said, anybody gave me some water for my feet? He said, this woman has washed my feet with her tears. You know what I'm talking about? He said, man, ain't nobody in here offered much. And his response was, he that loved much, much is forgiven. He that loved little, little is forgiven. What is that considering? Compassion, mercy, service. This is the thing that he advised them to do. Where you sit back and you look at the aspect of the Samaritan who did that for the man who got caught by the thieves, what he advised them to do, to show mercy. These are all the things that's in the law and the prophets repeatedly. This is what you're advised to do. That's why I say what I told you, you've heard from the beginning, but you didn't catch it. This is what we talked about the other day with the uncleanliness. A nigga will talk to you about, oh, you unclean because you on your cycle, but you unclean because you murderers. You hate niggas in your heart. And you think you better because you don't have blood that emanates out of your vaginal canal every month. And you think you good. You think you better than somebody because you ejaculated having coitus, and you think, well, she's unclean. Meanwhile, you're a lustful bastard. And you think that make you better. That don't make you no better. You know what I'm saying? And what's up, godmother? And when you see that, It leads to a whole nother dynamic. Like I mentioned to you earlier, like I say, like when bro hit me up with that, asking that, and we had already had that conversation earlier in the week, but the tenor of that conversation earlier in the week was different than what he was asking about. Like, oh, these women are unclean, but you lay in the bed with her though, cuz. Now I'm using that as an example of this is how we'll look at it. You will look at somebody else and say they are in a deplorable state. Meanwhile, you're in the same state as them. See, go ahead and read Matthew 7:1. And that's not what he advised individuals to do. You know what does he advise you to do? To be like your Father in heaven, and that's to forgive. You know how we know that? Because when he declared his name, what he said, Johnny, he do what? He forgive what? You don't remember. And we read it last night, but we read it in Numbers though. He said he long suffering, forgive sin, iniquity, and transgression. That's what he advised them to do. See, advising somebody to keep the commandments is the easiest thing to do, but that don't deal with the terrible nature of your inward parts. That's why when we read Psalms 19:7, it is a fact that the law is perfect, but it's not going to make you perfect. Yahuwah got to make you perfect. And individuals don't be wanting to let him make them perfect because they don't want him to live in them. So that's why we only talk about, that's why you unclean, and that's why you eat pork, and you don't keep the Sabbath. Meanwhile, you looked at a nigga like, I'd kill him if I had a chance. Nigga, listen, all them people had them same instructions. You know what they said they were doing in Jeremiah 9? Lined up at their neighbor's house, naying after their wife. You know how evil you got to be to do that? And Amos, he said, boy, they were running trains. He said, you sold the poor for a pair of shoes. He said, you oppressing the needy, the fatherless and afflicted. They sour all the way around the board and had a nerve to show up every Sabbath talking about, I got an offering for you. But he told you the sacrifice of the wicked is what, Sibby? That's an abomination. That man don't even want that. You know how many people gathered up on Sabbath all across this world, spreading hands, singing praise, and this man said, I don't want none of that praise this nigga singing with. Because I know what you did before you got here, and I know what kind of heart you got. You could have just stayed in the bathroom and sang Luther Vandross. Go ahead.
Judge not that you be not judged, for with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again.
What else?
Why behold you the mote that is in your brother's eye? Consider not the beam that is in your own eye. For what will you say to your brother? Let me pull out the mote out of your eye, and behold, the beam is in your own eye. You hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, then shall you see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye.
Listen, he didn't say that you couldn't judge him because the law say rebuke your neighbor to not suffer sin upon him. He just know if you wicked as hell, it's coming back to you. You just know it's coming back to you now, so y'all both gonna be in the same boat. And that's why you got to do what's here in 1 Corinthians 2:10. Go ahead, Sibby.
But Elohim hath revealed them unto us by his Ruach, for the Ruach search all things, yea, the deep things of Elohim. For what man knows the things of man, save the Ruach of man which is in him? Even so the things of Elohim know no man, but the Ruach of Elohim.
Right.
Now we have received not the Ruach of the world, but the Ruach which is of Elohim, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Elohim. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teach.
Not in the words that what?
Man's wisdom teach.
But in the words
which the Ruach HaKadosh teach.
What else?
Comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
What else?
But the natural man received not the things of the Ruach of
I'll tell you that in Psalms 92. He said a foolish man is brutish. You know what brutish means? What that mean, Denise? What it mean? Brutish. No, that's not what a brute beast means. At least you know what a brutish man is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know a few. No, it's a little worse than that. So Johnny, you know what a brutish man is? No. But in the English terms, in our modern terms, that's usually what it's coincided to. What else? A brutish man means you stupid. Yeah, that Hebrew word for brutish means you stupid. Get it for us, it's Psalms 92:6. That's a song for the Sabbath, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead.
A brutish man know not, neither do a fool understand this.
Tell them what brutish means.
That is by our brutishness, stupidity.
That man said a stupid man. Remember, that's what he called his apostles. He said, y'all are slow of heart. He called them stupid. Let's see what it means to be stupid. You know, you say it, but what does it mean? Somebody ever called any of y'all stupid and they were serious? Not just saying it, but like, you know, they meant it. Like, you really stupid. You ever told yourself you were stupid? You look like you told yourself that time. That means that you are showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense. So when you look at that from a spiritual sense, read verse 1 so he can see why, Psalms 92, why he called them stupid. Simpleton is worse, in my opinion. Yeah, I think simpleton is worse. Because I remember we were young, boy, if a nigga called you simple, well, nigga ready to fight. Somebody call you stupid, you be like, man, screw you, but they call you a simple, you simple. Lord have mercy.
It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahuwah, and to sing praises unto your name, O Most High, to show forth your loving kindness in the morning, your faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon a psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound.
Yeah, by definition, they mean the same. Go ahead.
For you, Yahuwah, have made me glad through your work. I will triumph in the work of your hands. O Yahuwah, how great are your works, and your thoughts are very deep. A brutish man know not.
So give them thoughts by definition. This is what simpleton mean: a person who lacks common sense, good judgment, intelligence, often described as foolish, naive, or easily deceived. They lack judgment, they naive. The synonyms are a fool, an idiot, a dope, a blockhead, a numbskull, a ninny, a halfwit, or a dunce. That's an old school term. They can call you a ninny, boy. That's disrespectful.
And thought is akashaba, that is thought, device, plan, or purpose,
So
invention.
His plans are very deep, and that's what we want to get to with the veil. That's what we're working towards. And he says stupid people can't understand it. That's why he went off on his apostles. Why you ain't believed everything that these men done said, what the scriptures done said. You showing a great lack of common sense and intelligence at this particular time. Where we was at beforehand, Sabo. Don, what's happening, homie?
Yeah, I read 1 Corinthians 2 and Matthew 7 and 4.
You good in Matthew. Where you start at in Corinthians, though?
Verse 14.
1 Corinthians 2 and 14.
But the natural man received not the things of the rock of Elohim.
A natural man can't receive the deep things of God. Can't get them.
For they are foolishness unto him.
Because he's stupid.
Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
What else?
But he that is spiritual judge all things, yet he himself is judged of no man.
Judged of no man.
For who have known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him, but we have the mind of a Mashiach.
See, if you walking in the spirit and living in the spirit, you can be judged of no man because there's nothing to judge you about. Because you ain't doing nothing. That's why I say now, if you gonna judge, remember, judge is to make a determination between right and wrong. Just know if you wrong, somebody can determine you wrong. And that's all that means. See, people say don't judge me because people take judgment as different. Like I told y'all the other week, right? When you talking to most women in general don't want to be judged for the things they've done in their lifetime. So what I mean by that is if they done certain things and they talking to a man and they express that and they see he look at them with uneasy derision, then she feel like, oh, I can't be myself. She wants to be able to communicate all the things that she may have done or desire to do without judgment. Effectively, don't tell me you was wrong for that, or you think this, that, and the third, and want to hit at. Sometimes you just have to sit there and be quiet. But when you're dealing in a situation with the word, you have to have the ability to determine what's right and wrong. Not right or wrong according to what you think's right or wrong, but according to what God said is right or wrong. Like case in point, like I told y'all, because that conversation came up again the other day about, okay, it don't say in the law you can't kiss a man in the mouth. It don't say in the law 2 women can't be together. And the first thing that people scream, well, if we was in the land, the judges would deal with that. But your law tell you all unrighteousness is an abomination. So you're supposed to have enough knowledge of your God to be able to judge. See, let me show you where I can show you that at. Psalms 37 and 29.
The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speak wisdom, and his tongue talk of judgment.
His tongue talk of what?
Of judgment.
Of what?
Of judgment.
The righteous tongue talk of what?
Of judgment.
What's in his heart though?
The law of Elohim is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide.
Now give him mishpat, man. I know y'all know what it is. This is for those who may not. Judgment is the Hebrew word mishpat. What does it mean?
Judgment, justice, ordinance, an act of deciding a case, place, a court, or seat of judgment, process, procedure, litigation before judges, a cause presented for judgment, a sentence, a decision of judgment, execution of judgment, a time of judgment. Got justice, right, rectitude.
So you supposed to justice, right, rectitude, that which is right. You don't need to read off the paper. Nah, baby, you can't be around here muff diving. You can't be out here doing that. Because righteousness will tell you can't be doing that. Baby, that's demonic. You know what that's demonic? Because don't no life come from that hoe. You came in here with a facsimile phallus and pretending that you having a physical sensation from it. Common sense tell you that wouldn't be right with God. I don't think she could be able to stand in front of him. I don't need to read off the paper 2 niggas shouldn't be kissing in the mouth. Nigga, if you kissing a nigga in the mouth, you have an inordinate desire for him. Because why you want to kiss a nigga in the mouth? Listen, people like this here, you can't tell people this and tell people that. You got men who think they women and women who think they men and white people who think they cats. I'm supposed to judge that. I can't judge. Get the hell out of here. I just heard a goofy Muslim. I'm not even finna get into that because Muslims say some of the dumbest things you ever want to hear. And the reason why I say that is because they always want to interject Ishmael into the promise that was given to Isaac because he Abraham's son. Okay, ain't no covenant with him. So we don't care what you do. Dude, talking about, see in the Quran, all you have to do is repent and this, that, and do good deeds. See, that's not what your law say, make atonement though. And you know a lot of brews repeat that also, but that means you don't know the law too well. Because you can repent and you can turn, but that's not going to rectify the violation of a covenant. That's not going to rectify that. That's the part they be missing. And it's not going to rectify what happened to Adam. So something has to be done. See, people like, what God offers human sacrifice, other gods don't. That's why I think Yahuwah was a humanities major, because when you actually know the stories of antiquity of these gods who they say stories like Yahusha's, you see that they're not. If you actually go read them. Not take little talking points that people like to put in a video or throw in a little book when they writing something, but actually go read them. Because horror story is nothing like the Lord's. They try to see, Horus had 12 disciples too. No, he didn't. Not like what this man had, not even close. And none of these men claim to be one thing. You know what that is? An atonement. And not just an atonement, but a reconciliation back to God. These other guys that they claim had these stories, that's not what their story is about. Nor are they stories about the degradation of sin, or because in these societies and cultures, man, the Egyptians were faggots. Like literally, homosexuals. Do you understand? I told you, do you understand on hieroglyphs that they have a hieroglyph of a man trying to give himself fellatio? That's what they doing. You think I'm finna listen to that? This dude trying to top himself off. They God tried to sodomize another God. You want anything to do with that civic? Y'all want anything to do with Islam where you can go marry a 9-year-old girl and beat up your wife? But they say in Islam, you can slap your wife up. I'm dead serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the Quran, but in the Hadith, Muhammad said, hey man, if a woman ain't around, a sheep will work. I'm not making this up. You can go look it up. I'm not being funny. I'm not making this up. I've told y'all this before. Say you can go ahead and knock down little Betsy. Go knock her down. Ain't no woman around. This is permissible. But worse than that, your prophet married a 9-year-old girl. Now, we just read in the law last night, but you ain't considered an adult till when, have you? Till you're 20. Now, don't let the people tell you no age of accountability, because that doesn't exist. When it's talking about 20, that meaning that you don't get numbered, and there's certain things you can't do. Because you being underage and wild, and you can't be like, well, I'm 18, ain't no sins gonna count. Now you're gonna go to hell now. You know what I'm saying? You know how we know this here? Because Korah and his whole household died. Them children died with him. That's why I always told y'all, don't marry no fool, because a fool can kill your whole house. Nigga want to serve God and do what he want to in his house, that's gonna kill you with it, especially if you co-signing it. Yeah, people don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that, do it. Yeah, Achan got his whole house killed too. Because guess what they supposed to did? What the hell you got that curse thing in here? You supposed to got away from it. Because what your law tell you to do, say because somebody committing idolatry. Who say the first person supposed to stone them? You is. Don't matter if it's your mama, your daddy. So of course you shouldn't be stoning nobody because you're going to jail. So the thing is what you supposed to do. Hey man, you wrong. Well, I can't fool with you. Because if you fool with him, that means you complicit. See, some sisters be talking about Ananias and Sapphira and trying to talk about her husband manipulating him. See, I hate women who do that because the text don't even allude to no manipulation or nothing. Could it be that she was a maggot, raggedy hoe just like he was a maggot nigga? Did anybody ever consider that? That maybe she wanted to keep the bread too? Just like what Michael Beasley just said, the females love the money. See, dudes like money, but dudes be wanting money so you can keep a woman happy. That's why a lot of dudes do a lot of things. And you walk around here mad because you living your whole life as a slave for a woman, you damn fool. And this man told you don't give your strength to no woman in that capacity. What's wrong with you, boy? Yeah, you around here, you about to die, your lung finna fall out, and when you dead, guess what she gonna do? Marry another nigga. You know why? Because I need somebody to take care of me, and you in the ground dead because you made yourself a slave. Not building something that you desire to do, and then the people in your life got to benefit from it. You literally lived your life as a workhorse slave for some quarters. And that's what these people be telling you to do. It sounds harsh, don't it? That sounds harsh. That's what they teach on TV, though, ain't it? That's what they teach in the movies, ain't it? Then when somebody say different, they say, who hurt you? America did, nigga. That's who did it. We're not buying that. We're not buying what you're selling. But listen, there's a difference of you have a drive and a purpose of something you want to do, and then you've acquired that, and then you say, you know what, you worthy to benefit off of my labor. Because that's what your God is. You know what I'm saying? I've accumulated something, and I've placed my love upon you that you can benefit from my labor. But I'm not a slave to your desires. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people treat Yahusha. Like everything he's supposed to do is he's supposed to be a slave to your desires and what you want and when you want it and how you want it. That's why people get mad with God when they don't get what they want. And you have a lot of men who've been socialized that your life is meant to slave to make sure this woman get everything that she wants. And they tell you you're not a man if you do that. And you know who told you that? A woman. And you was a damn fool for listening to her. We're not talking about taking care of your responsibilities, because if you took on a wife, you volunteered for that responsibility. That's not what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? People know exactly what we're talking about. Because nigga be mad with you. You got food, clothes, you got an automobile, but you be like, but we ain't get to go to such and such. I bust you in the head with this pan, ho. You know what I'm talking about? Or you got them, they be like, I used to work with this white dude, right? He told my man, my wife came to me, told me, why you ain't getting me nothing for Valentine's Day? This white man stood right here. He said, you know what I told her? He said, look around. He said, you see these lights? He said, you see this car? You see this food in the refrigerator? Valentine's Day has arrived. I said, this man crazy. He was dead serious. He was dead serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, he said, I show you I love you every day. You better get the hell out of my face. But some people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? No, you didn't love me if you didn't buy me something on the day that a white man told you to go buy it so he could get rich, so you could stay poor, to make him, so you get mad with your husband so you can divorce him, so your children grow up in a broken home, and he still get paid off your goofy behind because you go find another nigga to do it. And then repeat the cycle. And you never sit and consider you getting pimped. Yeah, you getting pimped. You think the people care about love, or you think they care about you putting some money in their pocket? You don't see no damn teddy bears any other time of year, do you? Where the candy's at? You don't want no candy no other day. Why you wait till February and want some damn candy? In a heart, chocolate candy. You ain't want no. Why you don't want no chocolate candy in the middle of July? I'm just telling you that to show you how you socialize. But you don't desire your God like this. So then you'd have to ask yourself, how have I allowed them to program me in this capacity? Now, of course, we don't celebrate that day, but if we did, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. You want a nigga to drop rose petals on the floor and all that, y'all business. I ain't got to live there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing all that personally because I'm not a Caucasian. Meaning that's not my culture. That's not my society. That's not what we do. That's what they do. If you want to co-opt that, that's your business. Some people be like, well, you've been doing it. There come a point in time when you realize something don't pertain to you that you just let it go. This don't pertain to me. That's their stuff, and that's cool if they have it. I don't see you running on no Indian reservation trying to do what they doing. Why you ain't went over there to Saudi Arabia and try to do what they doing? You go to Dubai, you just want to go over there. But guess what y'all do when you go over there as a woman? You're going to put the clothes on that people say put on, or you going to jail. See, because you don't know that. You know you can't go over there dressed like that. You got to put their cultural garb on, or you going to jail. Matter of fact, a woman can't even talk back to a man over there, or you going to jail. Y'all remember that black lady that got arrested because she said she was a rental car guy and she would talk back to the people, say she raised her voice to a man in public. She got locked up. Yeah, you can't do that over there. Well, you know how many women be in jail in America if that was the case? Lord have mercy. No, I'm serious. You can look that up. You can't do that over there. I didn't mention that because you know Americans like to go in other countries and think it's America. And you can do over there what you do over here. You going to jail. And some black woman just was on the internet talking about she went to some country and they caught her with a THC pen in her luggage, locked up, goofy behind her. Talking about, hey man, help me ID this money. You shouldn't have went over there, ho. You should have known where you were going. The same way that bulldagger got locked up in Russia. Talking about, this ain't right. You shouldn't have brought that weed over there, ho. You shouldn't have went over there with that. It's not a big deal, it's just weed. It ain't a big deal over here. It's a big deal over there. Now look at you. You in the cell want somebody to come get your funky behind. You know who I'm talking about. You know that doggone manly looking hoe. Mm-hmm. She called herself Brian now. Oh God, her titties took out, man. You know how she's dedicated to the cause. Come on, sis. She dedicated to the cause, boy. Look here, she gonna stand in front of that man. He be like, titties or no titties, you done, ho. Go ahead, Civic. Where you at with it?
We just read Psalm 37.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Come on back to where we was at. Where we was at with it?
You done in Job or?
Yeah, Joe, where we need to be. I need to go ahead and just jump straight to where we need to go at. Well, why you going around? No, I don't want to hang out. Yeah, capture for it. Yeah, capture. Verse 3, Job 26.
How have you counseled him that have no wisdom? How have you plentifully declared the thing as it is?
To whom?
Have you uttered words, and whose ruach came from you?
Dead things
are formed from under the water.
Oh, I guess you know what that means. Tell them what form means.
That's kill. To twist, whirl, dance, ride, fear, tremble, travail, to be in anguish, to be pained, to be brought forth.
To be brought forth. You know, that's what baptism symbolizes. You dead to sin, you dead to the world. These things are formed underwater. Go ahead.
And the inhabitants thereof.
Hell.
Is naked before him.
Destruction.
Have no covering.
Whatever.
He stretch out the north over the empty place and hang the earth upon nothing. He bind up the waters and his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them.
He hold back.
The face of his throne and spread his cloud upon him.
Read that verse again. I just wanted y'all to catch that forth as the imagery, and we gonna get to where we need to be at.
He hold back the face of his throne and spread his cloud upon him.
What you think that? What imagery is that, LaJohn? What imagery is that? Get a little more specific, man. It's something we done read recently. That's why I'm asking you to get a little bit more specific with it. Not that one. You in the general vicinity. We read it about a week or two ago. 2 different locations, same prophet. No, somebody help him out. Read the verse again. We read this in 2 different locations, same prophet.
He stretched out the north over the empty place and hang the earth upon nothing.
I don't know what you reading, but that ain't what we just read.
Till you hold back the face of the throne and
There it
spread his
is.
cloud upon it.
He hold back the face of his throne and do what?
Spread his cloud upon it.
I'll give you a clue. You want a clue? It's gonna cost you $25.15. It's wheels.
Oh, yeah, we did go.
Right. Remember what we read in Ezekiel 1 and 10 is forth as his throne and the wheels represented the whirlwind or the clouds. He said he hold back the face of the throne, set it on the clouds. Now, of course, that throne is representative of what's in the temple. What came in there when Solomon built that temple? What happened when they were sanctifying it and all those type of things, man? What occurred? You remember? How about Civic? 2 Chronicles 6 and 1. Just trying to stir up your mind. That's all, man. Go ahead.
Then said Solomon, Yahuwah have said that he would dwell in the thick darkness, but I have built a house of habitation for you, and place for your dwelling forever. And the king turned his face and blessed the whole congregation of Yasharal, and all the congregation of Yasharal stood. And he said, Baruch be Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal, who have with his hands fulfilled that which he spake with his mouth to my father David, saying, since the day that I brought forth my people out of the land of Egypt, I chose no city among all the tribes of Yasharal to build a house in, that my name might be there, neither chose I any man to be a ruler over my people Yasharal. But I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name might be there, and I've chosen David to be over my people Yasharal. Now it was in the heart of David my father to build a house for the name of Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal. But Yahuwah said to David my father, for as much as it was in your heart to build a house for my name, you did well, and that it was in your heart. Notwithstanding, you shall not build the house, but your son which shall come forth out of your loins, he shall build the house for my name. Yahuwah therefore hath performed this word that he spoken, for I am risen up in the room of David my father, and am set on the throne of Yasharal, as Yahuwah promised, and have built a house for the name of Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal. And in it have I put the ark wherein the covenant of Yahuwah that he made with the children of Yasharal. Mm-hmm. And he stood before the altar of Yahuwah in the presence of all the congregation of Yasharal, and spread forth his hands. For Solomon may have made a brazen scaffold, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits broad, and 3 cubits high, and had sat in the midst of the court, and upon it he stood and kneeled down upon his knees before all the congregation of Yasharal, and spread forth his hands toward Shamayim.
Right.
And said, O Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal, there is no Elohim like you in Shamayim, nor on the earth, which keep covenant and show mercy unto your servants,
Right.
that walk before you with all their hearts.
Right.
You which have kept with your servant David my father that which you have promised him, and spake with your mouth, and have fulfilled it with your hand, as it is this day.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore, Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal, keep with your servant David my father that which you have promised him, saying, there shall not fail you a man in my sight to sit upon the throne of Yasharal. Yet so that your children take heed to the way to walk in my law, as you have walked before me. Now then, O Yahuwah Elohim Yasharal, let your word be verified, which you have spoken unto your servant David. For Elohim in very deed dwell with men on the earth.
I'll start right there. That's what I wanted. We wanted when the smoke came in the house. Yeah, that's what I used to say, 'cause I ain't heard nothing. I was coming to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. Read verse 1.
Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from Shamayim and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the esteem of Yahuwah filled the house. And the priest could not enter into the house.
Now you see that esteem of Yahuwah, and another place is like a thick cloud. Smoke came in the house. Because you know, he say he ride on the whirlwind, so in the heavens. But let's get to what we here for and why we got these pictures up here. Exodus 26 and 31. Now, on this screen, of course, people on the channel can't see it. You have the Ark of the Covenant with the mercy seat. You got the incense, which is showing you what's behind that curtain. You can see that curtain's pulled back to where you can go that, because that incense is before the veil. So we're gonna look at all of those things as it pertains to the veil first, what the veil represents, so on and so forth. Because remember, the high priest is the only one who can go behind that veil. But what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do like they do in the movies. You know how they do in the movies? You ever seen a movie? It's like you wondering why I got my feet in the air. Let me tell you how I got here. You know what I'm saying? Then he tell the story backwards. So that's what we're gonna do. You wondering how I got beat up like this. Go to Matthew 27, verse 50. After that, 2 Corinthians. No, we'll wait. Matthew 27, 50.
Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the Ruach, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the Kadash city, and appeared unto many.
Stop. Give him veil by definition in that Greek. When he gave up the ghost, the veil of the temple rent. So that means that curtain right there is separated and rent. Go ahead.
It is kind of a tasma, a veil spread out, or a curtain.
A curtain. What's that curtain for, Civic? No, simply just to cover separate you from the throne. Effectively. Come on, Civic. Exodus 26 and 31.
And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet.
You make a veil of what?
Of blue and purple and scarlet.
Let's stop. So let me ask you this, LaJohn. You got to make a veil of what?
Of blue, purple, and scarlet.
And what else?
Fine twine linen.
And what else has got to be?
With cherubim shall it be made.
Nah. Can you go to the gospel for that, for blue, purple, and scarlet? Can you do it? Do you have the abilities? First things first, if you give him veil by definition. Come on, man. I know you put a scarlet robe on. That's layup. We know you have all layups. That ain't nothing. We know you do that. Somebody help him out with the blue. Will you can tell him where the blue at? I ain't gonna lie to you, that's a trick question. Somebody help him out with the purple. As you can see. The scarlet, the purple, the blue. Blue. Yeah, the blue is gonna be a tricky one because it's not gonna say blue explicitly. But can somebody help him out with the purple? Because it's gonna say purple explicitly.
What was your question again?
For which one are you referring to? That would be correct. What that is? That by Luke 23? Tell me what verse 1 says.
And the whole multitude of them arose and led him unto Pilate, and they began to accuse him, saying, We found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar.
Oh, we just talked about last night. He was forbidden to do what?
And forbidding to give tribute to Caesar.
See, that take it back to that coin. That take it back to what was in Matthew when he said, lest they be offended. Go ahead.
They saying that he himself is a Mashiach of Malik. And Pilate asked him, saying, Are you the Malik of the Yahudim? And he answered him and said, You say. Then said Pilate to the chief priests to the people, I find no fault in this man. And they were the more fierce, saying, He stirred the people, teaching throughout all Jewry, beginning from Galilee to this place. When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the man were a Galilean. And as soon as he knew that he belonged unto Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself also was at Jerusalem at the time.
What else?
And when Herod saw Yahushua, he was exceeding glad. He was desirous to see him of a long season because he had heard many things of him. And he hoped to have seen some miracle done by him. Then he questioned with him in many words, but he answered him nothing.
Go ahead.
The chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently accused him, and Herod with the men of war set him at nothing and mocked him, and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe and set him again to Pilate. And
Tell them what gorgeous mean.
that his lamp rose shining, or brilliant, clear, transparent, splendid, magnificent.
It's a magnificent robe. That's the one that's gonna be tricky because it's not gonna say anything that's blue. But where's the one with the purple at, Civic? You know where it's at? I believe it's in I think it's in John. Let me get that checked out. Wait me off.
John 19.
Come on, Civic. John 19 and what? Click off on it. Oh, he got classic quarterback. Yeah, just give him verse 1, that's fine.
Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him, and the soldiers planted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe. And he said, Hail, Malach of the Yahudim, and they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto him, Behold, I'll bring him forth to you, that you may know that I find no fault in him.
Yep.
Then came Yahushua forth wearing a crown of thorns and a purple robe. Pilate said unto him, Behold, the man.
Hey, check it. Who else got a purple robe put on him? And a gorgeous robe at that? That would be a negative. Yeah, that was a tunic. That coat of many colors.
Was it David?
No, sir.
Saul?
No, sir. Said to give him Esther 8 and 4 and 12. Yes, sir. This is Esther chapter 8, verse 12.
Said upon one day in all the provinces of King Xerxes, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, a copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Yahudim should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies. So the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, and being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment, and the decree was given at Shushan, the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white.
Royal apparel of what?
Blue and white.
That's where you get in with your gorgeous robe at. And you see the blue and the white. Go ahead.
And with a great crown of gold and with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
That's good. So now my question is this. We don't have to touch the scarlet because we did that Wednesday. What does the scarlet, the blue, and the purple represent? The scarlet, you can go about 2, maybe 3 different ways.
English version or book version?
The purple represents, as you just read it, being a king. The blue obviously represents the same. But that scarlet represents something else. Now the scarlet represented the red heifer, that's a given because we just did that. But the scarlet also represents one other thing. And that purple represents one other thing. Because understand something, that blue, scarlet, and purple, that's what the fringe is supposed to look like too, as far as this color is concerned. Those 3 colors are used for everything, for the most part. Matter of fact, for 100% of the time. But that scarlet and that purple also represent something else. And we referenced it last night. Oh no, that's not gonna be none of that. You got no idea, Sid? I'm gonna help you out.
I said the blood of the atonement.
No. Revelation 17 and 1. Let me see if you pick it up from this here.
And there came one of the 7 Malachim, which had the 7 vials, and talked to me, saying unto me, Come here, I will show unto you the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And he carried me away in the Ruach into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
What else?
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored.
Oh, stop. She was arrayed in what?
In purple and scarlet colored.
Now, we talked about this before. If she got on purple and scarlet, that's the color of the curtain. What is she trying to emulate that'll tell you what that purple and scarlet actually represents, besides the purple being a king?
Man, is that connected to a great order that sit upon many waters? You talking about the woman?
Not in that instance. Come over here, Civic. Go to Exodus 25:1. Well, yeah, I mean, it's talking about her specifically. That's what my apologies.
Yeah, I was asking, so does it correlate to Yahshua as being the horse?
Oh, no, this.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Asherah, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth willingly with his heart, you shall take my offering.
Go ahead.
This is the offering which you shall take of them: gold, silver, and brass, blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed bread, badger skin and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate.
Stop. Now, notice he said that those things had to be offered for an offering, right? But let's go to, no, I'm just showing you blue, purple, and scarlet in another location. Exodus 28:1. This is what the scarlet and the purple represent, even with the blue. Go ahead, sir.
And take you unto you Aaron, your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Asherah, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. You shall make Kadash garments for Aaron your brother, for esteem and for beauty. You shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the rock of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, and a robe, an embroidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle.
What they made out of?
They shall make Kadash garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. They shall take gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work.
So what is that whore on that beast trying to look like? Like the high priest. So what does the purple and the scarlet represent? Him being a priest and king on his throne, or a priest after the order of Melchizedek. But that's what that whole trying to copy. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know we can read, what you call it? Dang, I missed all that. Get Mark 15 and 17. Gary put that in there. Yeah, the scarlet and the Rahab story. Yeah, we don't want the scarlet and the Rahab story because that was just a string versus an actual garment. Because so this one we're referencing the garments that they put on him. So you know the scarlet robe is for the red heifer. You can read in Isaiah, he say, even though your sins be a thing wool, he said they'll be as scarlet. You know what I'm saying? But this is just because we're talking about the curtain, and the curtain is purple, blue, and scarlet. Go ahead.
And they clothed him with purple and planted a crown of thorns and put it about his head.
So listen, you see how that worked with these curtains? This is to get you an understanding. Because even when they put them robes on him, it's symbolizing of those three colors of him being the ark, or him being the mercy seat behind the veil. They can't see, they can't understand. They don't know what they're looking at. Because remember, it wasn't until the veil was rent in the temple that the Roman centurion said what? Now you can see plainly who he is. This is also what that represents with the veil on Moses' face. But y'all willing, we'll get there in a moment. Come on back to Exodus, man. 26 and 31. Because we ain't talked about this type of stuff in a while. And this is all the stuff that pertains to the tabernacle. Matter of fact, before you read that, I meant for you to read Hebrews 9:1 20 minutes ago. So go ahead with that. Because we're going to talk about the things that are behind that curtain. Now, you can't see it in this photograph. But along with that ark, there's other things behind this curtain. Does anybody know what those things are that's behind this curtain before he read it? What else besides the ark is behind that curtain? No, that's before. It's specific items that are behind that curtain. It's all right if you remember, don't remember, because it's quite a few things. Hebrews 9:1, and we ain't talking about it in a while. Aaron Rod, that bud, it is behind it. I mean, it's behind the veil. Yeah, I'm the things that are behind the curtain. So that's a fair.
I'm thinking you saying something other.
No, I get it. That omission definitely, yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, for
Go ahead, Hebrews 9:1.
Then truly the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
The sanctuary. So remember, like I told y'all the other week, the sanctuary, and that is different than what, see, people, we would call this the sanctuary, but temple-wise, they did not gather in there and listen to the word. That shewbread that David them got, see, in 2 Samuel, that's where they was at. They was in the sanctuary. Read that for them, see what that is. 2 Samuel what? Is that 2 Samuel? I can't remember what chapter it is. You know what it says. Just find it and call it. You know, that's 21. Where is the lamb? There you go. That's what I'm saying. So 1 Samuel 21, my bad. You see the white man? He got on the fit. You can't tell him he ain't no high priest. And look at him. He in the wrong spot with that on. No, but see, that show you how you see how he posted up like that? If he would have did that, he would be dead. Because look where he at. You know what I'm saying? But see, they don't show this because they want you to see that fit. But they don't understand that fit is Kadash. He wants you to see his breastplate. Look at me. He got his mitre on. Why you in the street with that on, boy? Tabernacle man. You gonna tabernacle all right. I don't know what one it is either. You can put in, go on the inside Solomon's palace. Oh no, he going to the history. Gotta go to the library. That first. There it is.
So is that considered this this bell right here, is that considered the second one or the first one?
Now, that fire incense, that altar incense, that's behind the first veil.
And the
And
second
the
bell
ark is
is
behind the second veil.
yeah, okay.
And the sanctuary is before that.
And the sanctuary is before that, which, you know, I'd have to figure out where I could find, because I wanted to have us so you could see it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about it, but so that you can see a visual representation of what it actually looked like. And because we talk about it today, like that sanctuary, it wasn't like this. They ain't sit in the temple of Yahuwah and hear no word. They heard word. They heard it.
I think I saw it earlier.
That's good.
It's been on me.
Oh. No, that's got you scared. You nervous.
Anyway.
It's like man, we out east, nigga. You worried about you gonna get some hantavirus?
Well, you know, you got no shoes on, huh?
Yeah, I know, but it's double.
You got no cushion to be sold.
Shit, I got enough. These feet hurt, boy. For sure, yeah, yo, these feet down bad. You know what I'm saying? That nigga gonna wish he ain't run across me.
What, a rat?
That nigga died.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
That nigga all 243 pounds on his neck.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a rap.
We shared
oh, you know, a lot of times.
That was just see that's all. You sound like that.
Goddamn
He was
road.
here earlier. He just went to
Man, been living here. You in his house.
He told me.
Man, say he been here. Come on, man. That man say he looking for some shoe bread. First Samuel 21:1.
Then came David to Nob and to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him,
Now remember, he's coming to this place. The house of Yahuwah has not been built, so they're in a tabernacle. Go ahead.
and said unto him, Why are you alone and no man with you? David said unto Ahimelech the priest, The king hath commanded me a business, and have said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I sent you, what I have commanded you, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place.
Right?
Now therefore, what is under your hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. The priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollow bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David,
Notice if he can ask him to point this to the bread, what I tell you he's standing at? He in the sanctuary. Go back to, I just wanted you to see that how he gonna be able to, let me get some of that bread right there. He had to be in the sanctuary. You just watching it.
I don't know.
Oh, see, oh, I see it. Oh, that's a mouse. That ain't no man.
Same difference to me.
No, it's definitely a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference.
To me, I don't want to.
Doris, no, she from New York. She lived with him.
That's a difference.
Oh yeah, no, he just left from up there. He was like, that ain't nothing. I wrapped up down on one of these niggas, they gonna have a heart attack. Look at with his eyes, but no fear. It was handy. So it was like, they that kind of demon on him.
That's a mouse.
Rat mouse with a killer. I'm killing about that. We getting distracted by something no consequence. Come on, Zip. Come on back to Hebrews 9:1.
He said, Then truly the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service in the worldly sanctuary. For there's a tabernacle made, the first wherein was a candlestick and a table and the shewbread.
So listen, in the sanctuary, you got the table that set apart bread was on, and the candlestick. Go ahead.
Which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Kadash of all, which had the golden censer, the ark of the covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant. And over it, the cherubims of esteem, shadowing the mercy seat, for which we cannot now speak particularly.
So we could go back and look at that, whether that's Aaron's rod that budded, and what that represents. That's in number 17. The manna, Exodus 16. What was the other thing you mentioned? The 2 tables of stone. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
We go back and revisit that.
It was the golden censer, the ark.
And the golden censer, which is the light, that what you see right there. Come on, Zip.
So now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Elohim. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
That's right.
The Ruach HaKadosh, this signifying that the way into the Kadash of all was not yet made manifest.
That's good. That's good. Come on back to Exodus 26. Verse 31.
You shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen, of cunning work with cherubim shall it be made.
And
shall hang upon it 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. The hook shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver.
and you shall hang up the veil.
Under the taches, that you may bring in there within the veil of the ark of the testimony.
The veil.
shall divide unto you between the Kadash and the most
So
Kadash.
remember, the sanctuary is the Kadash, but the Ark of the Covenant is in the most Kadash. So that's where we have to sit back and pause. What spiritual understanding would you be able to derive from the Kadash and the most Kadash? Read that verse for me again, Civic. We're going to slow it down, walk it down.
You shall hang up the veil under the taches, that you may bring in there within the veil the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the Kadash and the most Kadash.
Tell them what divide means. I know y'all know what it means. This is for informational purposes.
That's badal, to divide or separate.
Not to divide or separate. Let me show you an example of the Kadash and the most Kadash, one who was divided and separated. Matthew 19 and 15.
And he laid his hands on them and departed thence. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Right.
And he said unto him, Why call you me good? There is none good but one, that is Elohim.
What else?
But if you will enter into life, keep the commandments.
That's the Kadash. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, which Yahushua said, You shall do no murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, honor your father and your mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
You say, yeah, I've done that since when?
From my youth up, what lack I yet? And Yahushua said unto him, If you will be perfect,
If you'll be what?
if you'll be perfect,
What do you need to do?
go and sell that you have and give to the poor, you shall have treasure in Shamaim.
That's the most Kadash. See, he wasn't really behind to go behind that veil. Go ahead.
And come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples,
You know what that represents? He wasn't able to go behind that veil? Because this is something we read last night. In two places. One in the Old Testament, one in the New. That's literally what this young man refused to do. And this will take us back to 2 Corinthians 3. I'm just using him as an example to show you the law is the Kadash, but faith is the most Kadash. Because remember that when he died, that veil in that temple rent, and now you can go into the most Kadash. You can walk right up to God now. You could go right up to the throne. You can go to the mercy seat for help in the time of need. You couldn't do that before. You went behind that veil. What happened, Sylvia? You died. Now you can go behind that veil and be reconciled. Help him out, Sylvia. 2 Corinthians 3 and 3.
For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of a Mashiach ministered by us, written now with ink, or the rock of the living Elohim,
Right.
not in tables of stone, but in fleshy tables of the heart.
Right.
And such trust have we through a Mashiach to Elohim word, not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of Elohim,
Right.
who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Ruach.
For the letter,
Kill,
but the Ruach.
give life.
What else?
But if the ministration of death written and engraven in stone was esteemed, so that the children of Yasharal could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the esteem of his countenance, which esteem was to be done away, how shall not the ministration of the
Now
Ruach?
we can refer back to that because Moses with that veil represents the Kadash, but the covering of the most Kadash. Because what it is a separation of the covenant. Go ahead.
And how shall not the ministration of the Ruach be rather esteemed? For if the ministration of condemnation be esteemed, much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed in esteem. For even that which was made esteemed had no esteem in this respect, by reason of the esteem that excelled. For if that which is done away was esteemed, much more than that which remained is esteemed.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech,
What else?
and not as Moses, which put a veil over his face.
Mhm.
The children of Yasharal could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished.
Mm-hmm.
But their minds are blinded, for until this day remain the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament,
Right.
which veil is done away in the Mashiach. But even until this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart.
The veil is where?
Upon their heart.
See that veil on their heart, they can't even get to the most Kadash. You in the Kadash, but you ain't in the most Kadash. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away.
It shall be what?
Taken away.
See, it's a lot of people still got the veil on their heart, that curtain up. You know what we gonna get to it in a second. Come on back to Exodus 26. Read verse 33 again. What you gonna hang up the veil on?
Under the taches that you may bring in there within the veil of the ark of the testimony.
And the veil shall what?
Divide unto you between the Kadash and the most Kadash.
Pause for a second. Come to Exodus 40. Verse 17.
And it came to pass in the first month in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. Moses reared up the tabernacle and fastened the sockets and set up the boards thereof and put in the bars thereof and reared up its pillars.
And he spread
abroad the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent above upon it, as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
and he took.
And put the testimony in the ark and set the staves on the ark and put the mercy seat above upon the ark.
Notice it say what he put in the ark.
The testimony.
Okay. Go ahead.
And he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil of the covering and covered the ark of testimony as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
Stop. He said he covered the what?
The ark of the testimony.
What you think this represents? He covered the ark of the testimony, especially considering what he just read in 2 Corinthians 3. You shaking your head. You scared that much? You're nervous.
Where you get up? I'll kill him for you.
You know he know. He been in Brooklyn for years. You see no damn mouse. That boy said, I ain't scared of no ghost. You see a mouse, you'll have a stroke. You let a rope scare you, man? Thought you was tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Thought you was a gangster. Who you told that? So you around here, you ain't scared of no holes, but a mouse gets scared. So I'll be the whole up. What's wrong about? Doors up here running like you ain't been in New York City and seen rats the size of a small child.
I know the other way.
Oh, that's why he's like good.
Yeah.
They grew up with rats, and this nigga running from a mouse.
No, only the jet you gonna see rats.
I was like, bro.
This nigga in Brownsville, Brooklyn, talking about she ain't see a rat. Come on.
No, she said in the house.
So,
You
You
might
see
see
mice in the house, rats out.
I'm saying, stop
You
doing
do
that.
And they were posted up at your bed. Got some. You don't never want to give me no food. Go ahead, sir. Oh, you ain't reading that. Y'all ain't picked up on that?
That like represents us not being ready to enter into the most holy. That's why we talk
To an extent. Do me a favor, Civic. Read me Deuteronomy 29 and 29.
Yeah, I forgot the question. That's the question.
You gotta read the verse again. Hold on. Deuteronomy 29 and 29.
The secret things belong unto Yahuwah our Elohim, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law.
Mm-hmm. Now, read the verse of Exodus 40, what, in 21 or 20?
Verse 21. It said, and he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil of the covering and covered the ark of the testimony as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
He took that curtain, that blue, that purple, and that scarlet, and covered the ark. The same way they took it and covered the Lord. Give him ark by definition.
And it's our own a chest, a ark, a money chest, or ark of the covenant.
It's just a chest. And in that chest was what? The 2 tables of stone. So he just read it in 2 Corinthians, but I'm gonna do you one better. Exodus 34, verse 20.
But the first thing of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb. If you redeem him not, then you shall break his neck. All the firstborns of your son you shall redeem, and none shall appear before me empty.
Go
6
ahead.
days you shall work, but on the 7th you shall rest. In the airing time and harvest time you shall rest.
Yeah.
You shall observe the feast of weeks of the first
Tell
week.
me what verse 30 said. I don't want all that.
And when Aaron and all the children of Yasharal saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone,
There it is.
and they were afraid to come near him. Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them.
Hold on, give what I told you, 30, give me about 2 verses above that.
And he was there with Yahuwah 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments.
Right.
And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand. And he came down from the mount that Moses knew not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them.
So Johnny, what does that represent, his face shining? Get this man out of here. Get this man out of here. Somebody help this man out. You fed this nigga this morning? You didn't get him enough. That ain't what that represents, sir.
He is in the presence of God. Matthew 17.
That's allowable. I mean, in this instance, that ain't what we're referring to. Y'all done forgot. Read 28 again. What has occurred for him to have to go up here? He broke the covenant the first time. He told him to come up there and make the tables of stone like what? Just like the first. He come down. His face shining. What that represent? Out of the spirit. It represents the bringing in of the new covenant and the everlasting life that's attached to it. Go ahead, Sid.
And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand. When he came down from the mount, that Moses knew not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. And when Aaron
I mean, to a certain extent, he asked, does that relate to the 40 days and 40 nights that the Lord fasted? The difference is, Yahushua did that for temptation. Moses was up there to redo the covenant. Now, if you want to say 40 days or 40 nights, I mean, you could look at it like when he was with the apostles 40 days upon his resurrection. But
What's the definition of showing? You mean like it was real bright or nothing?
give it a Hebrew word for showing bright. That's it.
that is Quran, to shine, to send out rays.
Now, like what you mentioned, Quran mentioned the same as forth as the transfiguration, but y'all must have forgotten because I remember a long time ago somebody say, show me an example of the Lord coming back. I was like, yeah, Exodus 32, sir. Moses went up on the mount. They say he was taking too long. You want to get drunk and beat your men servants and play, and he came back with a sword. You know what I'm saying? And then you can see the new covenant in Exodus 34. He told them go up there and make them 2 tables of stone again, and that's when he declared his name. That he was merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, and forgive sin, iniquity, and transgression. Literally what Jeremiah 31 say that the new covenant is about. But then when he come down with this tables of stone, his face shine. His face didn't shine when he came down with the first bell. His face was regular. Go ahead, Zeke.
I was thinking about that too when I was reading. They were saying how they had light the lamps and the incense and the holy, and behind the veil there wasn't no light.
I go back to what we read in Chronicles when he say you dwell in the darkness.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he light. You don't need to light no lamp in here because I'm the light. That take you to Revelation 21. Yahuwah Elohim and the Lamb are the light of it. I don't need you light no light in here. I stay shining, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what you used to tell them when you was in school. Just stay shining, I hope. Nah, you don't look like you talk like that. That don't even make no sense. How you pulling their card if you tell them I stay shining, ho? They ain't pulling up. You ain't pull nobody whole card. Say you slew foot, dirty mouth ho. I would tell them. You ain't never saw nobody no slew foot. You ever seen somebody slew foot? Like you said, that offended you. Go ahead. He said, I don't know what to do. I'm not fooling this man.
And when Aaron and all the children of Yasharal saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward, all the children of Yasharal came near, and he gave them in commandment all that Yahuwah had spoken with him at Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face.
Give him veil right there.
That is masveil, veil.
See, that's different than the Hebrew word for veil for that curtain. But he got a veil to cover his face. That's what we read in Corinthians. The veil still over their heart when Moses preached. Remember in Amos 3:7, he says, surely Yahuwah do nothing, but he revealed his what? He revealed his secret to his servants, the prophets. See, effectively to the people, indeed, much run. Effectively to the people, the Ark of the Covenant was a secret. They never seen it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was being moved from one location to the next, when did they see it? And what I mean by that is, once the temple was built and the ark was put into its place, the people never saw that ark ever again. During the time of David, they saw it because it was going from one place to the next. Before the temple was built, you know, the tabernacle of witness, they pick it up and move it. They may have seen it then. But once that hit that temple, when the people saw that? Only the high priest seen it. They couldn't go in there. I don't even think you got no Bible where they attempted to go in there. That's not to say nobody was stupid enough not to try. Because you know your man's ran in there. You know who ran in there and died? Not in the veil. That boy ran in there and grabbed hold to the altar, said, he ain't coming out. He said, well, kill him that in. Die holding on to the altar.
But that's what that represented, like the covenant, kind of like marriage certificate.
What you talking about?
Faith. What as far as just the ark itself, and what it had in that.
No, the ark represents Yahushua. It's just a box. Just a box with the word in it. Guess what you is? A box with the word in it. And guess what's supposed to be over that box? Your king. Now the man is something else. That means, hey, you know what else it is? His flesh. The rod that budded represent that word bear fruit. What was the other thing in there? I can't remember.
The golden censer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got some light in you, man. Candle of the light is the candle of the belly, or something of that sort. You know what I'm saying? But effectively, it's just a gold box. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say you ain't got to visit it. It was just all representative. Once Yahushua came and did what he had to do, that meant I can get rid of all that because I ain't never needed or wanted it anyway.
More representative, like to show the people, like this our God, this what we do.
Yeah, I mean, but it was really for the pattern of the testimony later. That's why he gone. You know what I'm saying? Because remember what he told David? I never asked you to build me no house for me to dwell in. He said, I've been dwelling in tents the whole time. I ain't never asked you for that. You know what I'm saying? Even when Solomon made it, he said, hey man, the heavens of heavens can't contain you. This house can't do it. And then he came back through in Isaiah and said the line that every nigga like to use. I don't dwell in temples made with hands. The heavens of heavens is my throne. What type of house you gonna build for me? Because that's what David's thought process is. I want to build a house for the ark. But Yahuwah's thought process is, y'all my ark. I don't need no house to dwell in. I dwell in man. Now David's idea wasn't flawed or wrong or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, you got a limited understanding of the greatness of this man's will, which is why David made a statement that I do not exercise myself in things too high for me. But these days and times, everybody feel like they supposed to know everything. Some of y'all know what that was. Your parents ain't tell you everything. Imagine if your mom and daddy told you everything. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if they came in there and told you explicitly some of the things they be doing. You wouldn't want to hear that information. Imagine if they came and told you about, yeah, son, we ain't got no money. And not just that we ain't got no money because I don't want to buy nothing. Like, no, here's the bank statements. We ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? What if your mama came and told you, son, here's the reality. I seen Nate and told him I needed that money. And this is what I did. That's how you were able to go to college. Imagine if she came and told you that. You gonna look at her different? Or you gonna be like, well, I got my college education. Your mother's a prostitute. Imagine if your mama did what Forrest Gump. Your mama sure do love your schooling, son. Imagine it. Imagine if your daddy had to tell you, you know, son, to get them Jordans and that bicycle, I had to rob and kill 2 niggas. No, that's what I had to do. I'm using things to the. He ain't have it. I told him not to move. Matter of fact, he robbed a booty face, so he said they had to go. Now, these are extreme measures, but it's just certain things that your people don't clue you in on. That's why when sometimes people be making comments about their parents, man, you don't know what type of woman your mama was to your daddy. You only know what type of woman she was to you. Your mother could be a horrible woman. You know what I'm talking about? To be with, but you don't know that. Your daddy could have been a horrible man to be with. You don't know that. Because that ain't your business. I mean, a long time ago, somebody told me like, hey man, you know, they felt like they was upset because they thought their daddy was paying for certain things, but it was really his wife. And her mama never said nothing. She was mad with her mama. I'm like, your mama's an adult. That's not her place to say. You don't do that. You know, your daddy don't pay. That's a maggot home. If your daddy ain't no good, guess what's gonna tell it? Time. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to know that because that's not your business. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, you'll find out. Because that's what people mean when you introduce children into adults' affairs. Children shouldn't be involved in adults' affairs. Because they don't have the capacity to understand it. You know what I'm saying? So that's even as a teen. You know what I'm saying? You don't really start introducing your kids into adult affairs until they become adults. Then you can tell them once you pass it, y'all don't live here no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all go around here and tell them, son, I'm stressing out about paying a light bill. You know what I'm saying? You know the people who really do that? Your mama gonna do that because she gonna tell you go get a job so you can help her with his light bill. When you see some of these women that cuff their kids' birthday money to pay a bill. I done seen it. Kids get a little bit of money, she like, oh, let me get that so I can pay some bills. Nasty nigga. Nah, but that's not his responsibility though. You know what I'm saying? See, our people were the ones who feel like, specifically, I must see, you already know this here, this ain't no disrespect to no women, but everybody in here know this, is that with black people, you can't say nothing about your mama. Your mama is an irresponsible, dirty foot whore. And it's okay to say it if she is. Your mother may be irresponsible. Your mother might have had bad vaginal management. You know what I'm saying? But you want to act like your mama is this pristine, great person. You live with her, you know it's a lie. Okay. See how niggas looking uncomfortable? Because everybody else can say something about it. You know what I'm saying? People be uncomfortable, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, look here, man. Hey man, everybody ain't have a great mama, man. Because if everybody had a great mama, everybody wouldn't be around here talking about they got trauma and need to go to therapy. Like how everybody got a great mama and daddy, but all these niggas claim they traumatized and need some therapy. That makes sense to you? That means somebody's mama wasn't too great. And you niggas know it because y'all all grew up around black folks and you knew what them niggas were dealing with. Well, I had a homeboy, this nigga used to get beat with a tire brush. A tire brush. You ever seen a tire brush? Well, I seen that nigga get beat. Boy, I turned my head and shed a thug tear for him. I said, this is ridiculous. These niggas got beat in front of us. In the apartments. We outside, man. Mom dude said, and the stepdaddy catch him. I said, my God, for coming outside, this is not equal to the offense. You know what I'm talking about? This is not equal. I'm like, boy, my mama whooping nigga, she didn't do me like that. You can't love me and you hit me like that. But what I mean by that is, some niggas' mamas was very, very destructive with their words. You know what I'm talking about? The things that they did. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got a poor self-view of yourself. That's why some people got low self-esteem. Because look at, man, I know chicks' mama who used to call them hoes, bitches, all type of stuff. And she ain't even meaning nothing by it. It's just how she talk. Barry just said the other day, his mama used to tell his sister, I called you a bitch just in case when a nigga in the street call you that, you won't be bothered by it. But you bothering me with it. You talking about you protecting me from a nigga outside, protect me from you. And this is serious because all you ladies in here know it, because y'all get emotional with them children and y'all snap fast. And y'all snap fast about stuff that ain't even necessary for you to do that. This nigga's a 4-year-old. He's 4-year-old. You would just need to, hey man, tighten up on you. So then you wonder why you look at your husband, why you ain't getting upset about this? Because it's nothing to get upset about. This nigga's a kid. You about to blow your top. You want to beat this nigga for being a kid. You know what children do? What they're not supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit back and look at it because you want them to stop instantly. Your patience level is this short. You know what I'm talking about? And because of that, y'all niggas spaz out. Them children might love you, but they don't like you though. Because you tripping. This ain't even that serious. Then you sit back and look at it. You have to ask yourself this question. Is my children really that bad? Or are they just kids? See, my children don't listen, but they ain't that bad. They just don't listen. And they think somebody playing. See, there's a difference. See, y'all ain't been, some of y'all clearly ain't been around no nigga children. Like some real deal nigga children. They're like, this little boy got a problem. There's one thing when they don't listen, and then they think when you come to see them, they go to smiling and running because you think they playing. That means they don't understand the gravity of what they do, and they think everything playtime. Versus a child who is deliberately and explicitly doing things that can cause damage, and he know he do. You know what I'm saying? So you know what come on. That's a good way to get out of one. You say, shoot, you run long enough, she gonna be like, man, bump this junk. But see, y'all niggas young, y'all don't know how to do it. You let him think he got away with it. Go on here, son, go on here, take that bath, man. I been, you know what I'm talking about? And you catch that nigga when he get up out of there. Wow! You know what I'm talking about? That's when you catch him. You don't want to catch him in the tub because he might hit his head on something, you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? You don't catch him in there. You know what I'm saying? You want to catch him when he out of there and he dry, and he half dry and he half wet. No, I ain't never got like that because I don't play them type of games. I know niggas who have though. You know what I'm saying? My mama ain't play them games. She just going, she ain't running, she ain't catching you. You know what time it is. Run if you want to. Like, we could run when Joanne was alive because she gonna be like, don't you beat that baby. Yeah, when Joanne was alive, nah, you can't touch them. I don't care what they did. You know what I'm saying? If they did it, well, it's done now. You better leave them alone. They got the fold. You know what I'm saying? That's only when you at grandma in the house. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't there, they don't work. Joanne was like that. She was like, my grandma ain't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? That was more so, that's last resort. Don't you put your hands on my baby. Don't you do it. That's it. And we knew that, and we exploited it. You know what I'm saying? She ain't lived long enough for continual exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Now, Richard, on the other hand, that nigga, one time I came in the house, he whooped me. I said, damn, what I do? He said, that's for some junk you finna do. He said he was making deposits. No, like I said, I mention this here because your daddy being a terrible person, nobody ain't got no problem with that with black folks. They can talk bad about the daddy, don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? But daddy was a bum, he ain't do this here. Don't nobody be like, don't you can't talk about daddy. But with black folks, you can't talk about your mom. And everybody walk around carrying this dark secret that your mama was a horrible mother. Because you know what a lot of ladies think make them a great mother? Because you maintain them children. You fed them, you clothed them, you housed them. That don't mean you're a good mother. That just means you're a functional adult, ho. That's all that means. Meanwhile, that child had nightmares of peeing in the bed. I'm dead serious about that. Listen, you know how many kids pee in the bed because of what they people been doing to them? They ain't peeing in the bed because they can't get up. And then guess what? Then you getting beat for that. I'm peeing in the bed because of you. Now I'm getting beat because of you. You know how many black people don't fool with their mama like that? Don't see him, don't talk to him. Man, I got a homegirl right now, don't talk to her mama. I told you about that when we were young. She used to call her mama by her first name. I was flabbergasted. Till she told me what time it was, then I understood. Because the first time she said, I said, you call your mama by her name? And she don't do that? I understood after a while. I'm like, shoot, I call her worse than that. How she did her. Look at man. Me and her about the same age. She's still dealing with the after effects of what her mama did 30 years ago. Play with it. Why you think a lot of people be in the church, come up there in them altar call crying? They ain't crying because of no sin. They crying all the stuff they done experienced and dealt with that a whole bunch of grown folks seen and let it slide. Because ain't nobody want to put mama out there. Listen, man, I done seen chicks like this here. My grandmama this here, your grandma had 8 kids from 8 niggas. Your grandma was a whore. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, we working on another one, why religious niggas like drama. But that's a whole nother conversation, because I don't know if I got enough Bible to support that.
Hold on, that's the name of the title?
No, that's not the name. That's what it's about. No, she's Mama Steph was approaching this one from the psychological standpoint of why religious people seem to be so drawn to contention, drama, and fighting. When you're supposed to be godly, why does this do this for you? And they do though. But you know, people like drama because it's entertaining, it's thrilling, it's exhilarating. You know, it's provocative. It's the people going. This ain't got nothing to do with God. That's all them. Come on, Sid. Where we at? Read it again. 34 and what?
33.
Exodus 34 and 33. Go ahead.
Saying until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moses went in before Yahuwah to speak with him, he took the veil off.
See, he don't need to cover up the veil for the secret for Yahuwah. He can take it off. But the veil was on the people's heart. Go ahead.
So he took the veil off until he came out, and he came out and spake unto the children of Yasharal that which he was commanded. And the children of Yasharal saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone, and Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him.
Now go back to Exodus 40 and 21.
And he brought the ark into the tabernacle.
Now listen, right? As it said here, Mother throne of the cherubim covered the mercy seat with their wings until Yahushua was revealed. And I think we talked about that a week or so ago, because that's a fact. But remember, and Jeremiah, it said that you won't visit the ark, nor will it come to mind, nor will you remember it. Now we read Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong to Yahuwah, but the things that are in this law are revealed to us and our children, that Yahuwah revealed his secret to his servants, the prophets, which will take us back to a passage, an epistle that everybody in here knows. The epistle to the Romans, chapter 16, verse 25.
Now to him that is a power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith.
The obedience of faith. Made known to all who?
To all nations for the obedience of faith.
Say it's made manifest by the scripture of the what?
For the prophets.
Now listen, Mother Verona just said something about what I just mentioned, right? Because we don't do that, you recycle trauma. And what's trauma? That's injury to the mind. You understand? That's what trauma really is. And you just recycle it and you pass that on. Now your children, see, we want to call it generational curses, but that's not a generational curse. That's not what you would define a curse. A curse is on you because you're wicked as hell. But what ends up happening is you pass down generational misconduct. Because what people are going to do, they're going to mirror the behavior that they've seen. So if your mama them did this and your mama them did that, Well, if your great grandma did this and your grandma do that, now your mama do this, and then they get you gonna do it, and guess what your children gonna do? The same thing. Unless somebody sees something better, decide they want something better, and I don't want to do that no more. Damn, she said, just said she had a friend. They were 12. Her mom was outside cussing her out, told her she was her dad's leftover sperm in front of everyone. And she was letting her boyfriend rape her. Come on, man, what kind of junk that is to say, man? But what that say about you if that was his leftover sperm, ho? And see, that's why as a man, it's important for you to know who you're going to inseminate. See, if you learn something like with that Stephon Diggs situation, see, you got in trouble because you messing with a maggot chick. She looked good, you laid up with her, the whole time, this woman is a terrible person. You know what I'm saying? This is why the book tell you lust not after what, Civic? Don't lust after a woman's beauty with her eyelids. That's why you always see these women, they can cheat on Megan because, for some reason, women think beauty means she's a good person. She's a dutiful wife and a caring and compassionate and loving woman. No, that means she looked good. She could be the most wretched, horrible miscreant that you would ever see in your life. But because she looked good, that means something. That's why he told you a whore is a deep pitch. You better be careful for it. Looks don't mean nothing, man. That doesn't mean you the same way that a lot of women be goofing up and saying, oh, he got some money. He must be a good man. No, he just got some money. It doesn't mean he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually look at character. Because I say that because that's how children get born to people who should not have children. You know what I'm saying? And you being an educator, you see it all the time. You see the type of, you ain't even got to know no details. You can see their parents and know that boy catching hell. That's why he act like that in here. That boy don't want to go home. That little girl don't want to go home. Like I said, because we'll talk about the daddy don't know. Listen, every time, why you want to talk about the parent that stayed and the one that left? Shoot, the little boy I wish she would have left. Send me to my grandma's house. I hate this home. Listen, then if your mama wasn't like that, then it don't matter. But guess what? More often than not, people mama be trash, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I grew up with a lot. Their mama wasn't all that. I grew up with a lot. Their mama was solid. Loving, caring people. Grew up with some niggas, they ain't know their daddy. I grew up with some niggas, their daddy was terrible. That nigga was on crack. He was in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? The other dude, their daddy was solid. That's nothing different. It's a crapshoot. But dismiss the fact that everybody people ain't good. That's why if your people is good, you ought to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And if people ain't good, you just got to try to sympathize with them. Because if your people was good, you can't empathize with them. You don't know what they're going through. But like I said, I grew up and seen some things, man. That's why I can say, man, I'm not finna be sitting here talking about, oh, nah, man, your mama, I knew some dudes, mama was terrible. Like me and Fat Boy used to talk about it all the time. Some dudes were scarred because they had their parents. And not because they didn't have them. Because that's what people like to say. Some people were scarred because they had their parents. Like straight them down. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell you, don't go with that nigga raising and all the other type of stuff, but look how your will raise us. Because he don't go to all that screaming, hollering, fussing, and fighting, whooping, and all that. He don't go with that. There's a process before you get to wrath. He has a strong level of patience and long suffering and loving kindness towards his offspring. That's why we always reference what he say, I know of your frame. So I pity you like a father pitieth his son who fear him. So if you know your children got respect for you and they just need some instruction, you got to actually take the time to teach them instead of getting frustrated and snapping about something that ain't worth snapping about. Because you're really stressing yourself out. I'm not going to stress myself out with that. Now, sometimes you have to be forceful. Every man in here know, you might have to, see, y'all can't really raise y'all voice like that to where they know, okay, I don't know, y'all from a different generation, because my mom and them generation, they can raise their voice and everybody knew to stand still. Or they gave you a look. See, y'all ain't mastered that look. That's why they try y'all like that. Because y'all look too soft in the face. You know what I'm saying? You don't look serious enough. But what they know. You know what I'm saying? They give them that look so they know, oh, mama ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? See, they think y'all be playing because y'all, see, when they should get disciplined, y'all let it slide. And you snap about stuff that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? See, if you don't snap about the stuff that don't mean nothing and tighten them up when they need to be tightened up, when you shoot them that look, they know my man playing. Or you can't let nothing slide, ever. I told you that's the game I was giving about women. You can't let nothing slide, ever. You got to check it every time. Because y'all know, you give a woman an inch, she taking 3 football fields. You know what I'm saying? 300 yards. She take that, oh yeah, I can run all over him. That's how Trim feel too, though. See, that's another thing too. They be trying y'all like, cause y'all be letting stuff slide. Cause I just can't deal with it. Now you got to deal with it for 15 more years, nigga. Should have stopped him when he was 3. Yeah, you know you be letting stuff slide, don't you? You the only nigga over here with a pink hat on. You did. I'll say it. Yeah, you be letting stuff slide. Monica, you be letting stuff slide. Nah, you don't look like you. You look like you from that generation. Callie, you be letting stuff slide. Yeah, that mean you be letting stuff slide. You be letting stuff slide, Nisha? You don't let Nisha in here. I ain't say nothing about no whooping. I said you let stuff. Why y'all think about whooping? I'm just saying, do you let stuff slide? You let stuff slide, okay? You be letting stuff slide, shit? Yeah. But you be letting stuff slide?
Yes.
You say he can speak for you. He say he's speaking by agency.
I know.
I already know Lee Glover ain't letting nothing slide. She people let him slip and slide. You already know the answer to that. Shoot. Straight up, boy. Lee ain't letting nothing slip and slide. You hear me? You hear that, Michael? Look, he goes because everybody here on earth. You say it's a teacher at my daughter's school that's getting ready to leave and go to work at my daughter's daycare. Underlying health issues, she's also tired of disrespectful parents. What I recently was told some of the kids' parents, because they think they pay tuition, they can teach the teachers and staff any kind of way. Well, see, they need to get beat up. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need. Some people need to get punched in the face. See, that's what's wrong with the world now. People stop punching people in the face. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they feel like they can say and do anything. Oh yeah, in my day you get punched in the face. You talk crazy, pow, right in your mouth. No hesitation. See, now you got the internet, so you feel like you can sit over there, you can say whatever. You know what I'm saying? 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s, boom, punched in your mouth. Straight like that. What's happening? What you want to do? You know, couldn't elevate the pistol play? May not. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that's how it was in the 90s. You was gonna have to fight. Yeah, you could just go walk around talking to people any kind of way. No, oh God, no. What we at here?
Romans 16.
You good on that? Yeah, we good on Romans 16. I think we finished Exodus 26. Let me see what else we need, man. Oh yeah, different world. It's a different world out here. Niggas. Come over here, Exodus 27. You can pick it up at verse 1. This is going to be about the altar. Go ahead.
You shall make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square. The height thereof shall be 3 cubits. You shall make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same. You shall overlay it with brass. You shall make his pans, receive his ashes, and his shovels, his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof you shall make of brass. You shall make for it a grate of network of brass, and upon the net shall you make 4 brazen rings.
all three TV screens. Go ahead.
and the four corners thereof. You shall put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. You
Right.
shall make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, overlay them with brass, and the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the two sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shall you make it, as with showed you in the mount, so shall they make it.
Mm-hmm.
You shall make the court of the tabernacle. From the south side southward, there shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side, and the 20 pillars thereof and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side of the length, there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass. The hooks
Now he in the court of the tabernacle. Go ahead.
and the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the courts, on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their
Now that's
sockets.
good. Now the court of the tabernacle. Go back to verse 9 and give him the definition of court. Then we'll talk about the things that was in the ark. But the main point with the veil, and I'm gonna go to the Songs of Solomon with it, that the veil represent the covering of the temple. The tabernacle. The testimony. Excuse me. But then it deals with the revealing of the witness, why it's removed, because now God has made plain. No more secrets. No more curtain. You can see him plain. Like the same thing we were talking about the cherubim. That's why you see the throne now. You can see his face. Before you couldn't see his face. And because there's no atonement or reconciliation, there's no need for the cherubims to cover him. Go ahead.
That's a kasar, court or an enclosure.
So this is the enclosure. Like I said, hey, see if you can find a video, man, that show the Solomon's temple, the outside of it. Is the TV? That's not too far away. Yeah, because see, y'all can see the TVs, but y'all can't see the TVs. Oh, and I seen Sister Regina just did. Hey, y'all just did a thing for a membership. Said we could do membership. But see, I told Cindy this earlier with the doggone troll that be commenting all the time. I realized we can just diminish you. But now, see, there's certain things that we can do member-wise. Like you can do streams that's only for members. So I don't know if you ever seen that on your YouTube feed. Somebody got a video and they say members only. You can't watch it. And then they have members only streams. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care to do all that because it ain't really necessary. But I can do it. And then there's certain stuff like I wouldn't do it for this because that would inhibit outside people from seeing it. But like you can make it. I know comment wise, we can make it subscribers only. Like if they weren't a subscriber, they couldn't comment. You know what I'm saying? Well, they would have to subscribe and then they would have to wait. Or you can make comments members only, but they don't need to do all that. Because your mans do that. BOA do that. That boy make his chat members only in a heartbeat. Because he say niggas get on there trolling. Now, of course, those things are different for different type of content. Obviously, we're not making content. Like it's considered content, but we ain't making content, so I don't see the need to do that. But I say the member stuff because I can do streams from the phone to deal with anything anybody want to deal with. And that can be members only. Yeah, that ain't for you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I think you can do that jump for like $1. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't got to be nothing crazy. The same way, like, because we wouldn't be necessary. That jump would just be for people who want to, hey, it's questions I got and keep outside niggas from interfering. Like, that right can help. But go ahead.
She might be coming up.
She ain't got no money. Y'all see how that look? Now see, this is pause it for a second. Now what you see right here is what you see described in like Ezekiel. This that outer court. This is what they were talking about. That's for the Gentiles. They couldn't go past this. You know what I'm talking about? You see how they set up? This is how you know they weren't doing no teaching and preaching. They did that somewhere else. That wasn't what this was for. This was literally, a representation of the heavenly tabernacle where he rested at, for lack of a better term. Read me Isaiah 66:1. See if it got the inner working. I got to remember the passages so we can read them step by step. That's up to y'all. If that's something y'all want to do, that's y'all call. That ain't a call I'm trying to make. If y'all want to do it like that, we can do it like that. If you don't, then we don't have to.
Thus saith Yahuwah, Shamim is my throne, the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you built unto me? Where is the place of my rest? For all those things have my hand made, all those things have been, all those things have been, saith Yahuwah. But to this man will I look. Even to
Stop.
him-
Pause that. Y'all see that right there? Y'all know what that is?
Outside the gate, outside the city.
That's Hinnom. That's the lake of fire. You know what I'm talking about? You can see this here. You see how this the city. Now, of course, the dimensions of the city as it's described in Ezekiel are going to be way bigger than this. But that's why read them Isaiah 66 and 20. All this right.
They shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahuwah out of all the nations upon horses and in chariots and in litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts to my Kadash mountain.
Dang, I know y'all can't see it, but shoot. Y'all just gonna have to bear with me. Go
Saith
ahead.
Yahuwah, as the children of Yasharal bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahuwah, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahuwah. Whereas the new Shamahim and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith Yahuwah. So shall your seed.
Pause. Reading Revelation 21 and 1. We're gonna walk some stuff down. Let me see how much what time. What the time is on this. That's a bet. He gonna put the link in the chat of the video that we looking at. This is one.
And I saw a new Shamahim and a new earth, for the first Shamahim and the first earth were passed away, there was no more sea.
I'm only reading this here so you can time this up. Because Revelation 20 tell you them people in the lake. Remember? Thrones, judgment, death and hell is cast in the lake. Everybody whose name ain't found written in the book cast in there. Now, we don't have the time to enumerate all this right now, but remember, it's the valley of Tophet or the valley of Hinnom, which is outside the city, or like he said in Ezekiel, speak to the forest of the south. This is where the lake of fire gonna be at. This is where you see where Isaiah 66 is gonna come in at. Go back. You in verse 22.
Once the new Shamahim and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith Yahuwah, so shall your seed and your name remain. It shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another,
From month to month, week to week.
shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahuwah.
Listen.
They shall go forth and look upon the carcasses.
So pause. He said they'll go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that transgressed against me. Go ahead.
For their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. They shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
Because remember, it's telling you that you'll go forth. That means you can see them. Why are you going to be able to see them? Because this is where they're going to be at. But they outside the gate. The same way that they tell you in the law, all refuse goes what? Outside the camp. Go to, let me look at Ezekiel, see what we want to look at. Keep on going and see how much more it's going to show.
Okay, we're gonna go inside. I don't want this one.
Okay, that's okay. But shoot, we don't know what it's like there.
Yeah, I was looking at the location where they said they found the ark. I don't remember the measurements in the Bible, but it looked just like the location where they found it.
Well, they found it in Carolina. Go to Ezekiel 40 and 1. Now see, pause. This right here, y'all, is the tabernacle when they were in the wilderness and before the temple was built. So this is something that they could take apart, pick up, carry. Yeah. They found Noah's Ark. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, no, the Ark of the Covenant. It's people, because remember I told you that's what Indiana Jones is about. Some people say, oh, they found it in Carolina. They did find Noah's Ark. They found it in Ararat. They found it right where the book said it would be at.
Yeah.
And they don't like to talk about it, they found it.
Yeah, it's shaped just like this.
Same way they don't like to talk about, they know where them 12 pillars of stones at. They know where that rock that Moses split at. They like to dispute about them chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea because they don't want to talk about things that will validate the text. Because you know what happens if you validate the text? Somebody going to hell. But you see how that same box was in the temple? All this stuff right here, this is the tabernacle of the congregation, or the tabernacle of witness. This was a movable house. Go ahead, Sid. Ezekiel 41.
In the 25th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, and the 10th day of the month, and the 14th year after the city was smitten, and the selfsame day the hand of Yahuwah was upon me and brought me there.
Right?
In the visions of Elohim brought he me into the land of Yasharal, and set me upon a very high mountain, by which was as the frame of a city on the south. He brought me there, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a line of flax in his hand and a measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. And the man said unto me, Son of man, behold with your eyes, and hear with your ears, set your heart upon all that I show you, for to the intent that I might for the intent that I might show unto you, you are brought. The intent that I might show them unto you are you brought here. Declare all that you see to the house of Yasharal. And behold, a wall on the outside of the house round about, and in the man's hand a measuring reed of 6 cubits long, by the cubit and a handbreadth, so he measured the breadth of the building.
Now, you see the walls. These are the walls that he's talking about. Let it run. These are the walls that are surrounding it. These are all the homes that surround it. But you see these walls? Now, we could read the stuff in Chronicles, but we don't got time for it. But they got all that to build. You can see why this was an expensive endeavor, and why there was that half a shekel that everybody had to pay. You can see. Yeah, you can keep it right there for now. Go ahead, Sid.
Say one reed in the height, one reed.
Okay, you ain't got to do that. Go to verse 20. You got to keep it concise.
In the gate of the outward court that looked toward the north, he measured the length thereof and the breadth thereof, and the little chambers thereof were 3 on this side and 3 on that side, and the posts thereof and the arches thereof were after the measure of the first gate. The length thereof was 50
Of course, we can't see it in this deal, but it's talking about the gates around the city,
and a breadth,
or around the house, I should say.
and their windows and their arches and their palm trees were after the measure of the gate that looked toward the east, and they went up into it by the 7 steps, and the arches thereof were before them.
Mm-hmm. Now that's good. Now go to verse 39. It's going to deal with the porch.
And in the porch of the gate were 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, to slay thereon the burnt offering and the sin offering and the trespass offering. And at the side without, as one go up to the entry of the north gate, were 2 tables. On the
Now,
other
of course, you remember that with each gate. I don't know if you can frame it out to show the gate, but remember it's 12 gates, one for each tribe. You got to go in the gate of your tribe, and you leave out of the gate opposite. You don't go out the same way that you came in. Go ahead, sir.
And in the porch of the gate were 2 tables on this side, 2 tables on that side, to slay thereon the burnt offering and the sin offering and the trespass offering.
Now you notice that's going to be where they flaying them offerings at, where that's at in the building. The outer court. That's what that big old box that you seen in front of the building, that's what they doing. See if he can run it. So the same thing you seen in front of the tabernacle of witness, that box. Oh, see, that's going to be the inside. That right there? That's different. Now you see that there? This is the tabernacle of witness. You know what I'm saying? And this is the temple itself. Now you see how that's going in there? Ark is in here, behind that veil. All this stuff right here. But this is where the sacrifice he did at. Right here, what he just read. The old one, the tabernacle of congregation is this one. This is the one in the wilderness. This is the temple. This represents those sacrifices that were done, because they didn't necessarily sacrifice in here. They sacrificed out here. Then the high priest would take that blood and bring it here and put it on the seat of reconciliation. So, of course, you can't see the curtains here, but there's a curtain that's cut that's stopping this here. Definitely can. You see that curtain? See, this is the holy. This is the most holy. So again, when we were looking at as far as the testimony is concerned, this represents the old covenant and the law. The most holy represent the new covenant in Yahushua, eternal life, because now you can go to the throne of grace for help at the time of need. You couldn't do that. So it's a variation of looking at the differences of the covenants. This covenant is good. This covenant is better. Why? It's built on better promises. What do we need to look at? Let's go ahead and go to number 17 and 4. See what Aaron brought that budget. Now he gonna go in the layout. We'll look at all of it because we already over 2 hours, so I ain't trying to go all day. But you can see again the close up. Is where they went up and sacrificed that. As you can see, that's a very large construction.
That's what the niggas would have grabbed.
Where the grab cud from?
Yeah.
That's the right here. This is the altar. That's the 4 horns of the altar. That's when the dude Solomon brother went and ran and grabbed hold of that. Say, y'all don't kill him here. Because he know he couldn't actually go inside. So understand this part as far as the law is concerned. Everybody could come here. Only Aaron's sons could go inside. They're the only ones who could go in there. That's why I meant once the ark entered into the temple, the people never saw it again. Unless it was taken out. Obviously, you need an altar that big for the amount of sacrifices that they would be doing. Remember, you had morning sacrifice, noon sacrifice, evening sacrifice. If somebody came up, they had to make burnt offerings. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, sin offerings. Remember, sin offerings in and of itself doesn't mean that you sinned. Because you had to bring sin offerings for cleanliness. But that don't mean you sin. You know what I'm saying? That's why we were having a conversation about cleanliness Tuesday, I believe that was. The dude was like, oh, if a woman unclean, she sinned. Well, he said, when we say if you unclean, you sin. I'm like, you sound stupid, cuz. My first question was, is a woman sin if she had a baby? Does the book say she unclean? See, I didn't go to menstrual cycle because I know nigga respond. So she had a baby, cuz. So you telling me this woman does a sin? That's a sin before God because she was fruitful and multiplied? But that's the same thing you do is like the scream that everybody need to be fruitful and multiply. So she did that, so that's a sin. I'll bust you upside your head. Because, listen, do you know, of course, as a man, that might not necessarily click in your brain. But do you know when women hear that type of stuff repeatedly, you know where they get clicked in their mind? They wicked as hell. And no matter what they do, they can't get no closer to God because everything they do is unclean. So you know what I'm saying? And dudes use that to their advantage to be able to get access to yams that they wouldn't be able to get access to in any other situation. See, y'all don't know that. Y'all don't experience that, but that's what we think we know. You do tell women they can't get to the kingdom without a husband. Well, you read that out of the book. But that's what people say. People say a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know it. They'll tell women, see, you wicked because you won't share a man. You know you're already not that nigga. You got to tell her what that. If you that dude, you ain't got to tell her to share you. She going to be willing to do it. You going to tell her, I got 3 wives. And she like, is you looking for number 4? Well, if you ain't that type of dude, guess what you're going to have to do, LaJohn? You're going to have to lie to her or you're going to have to manipulate her. Come on, Sylvia, where you at? Give me number 17.
Say, you shall lay them up in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony where I will meet with you. And it shall come to pass that the man's rod whom I shall choose shall blossom, and I'll make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Yasharal, whereby they murmur against you. And Moses spake unto the children of Yasharal, and every one of their princes gave him a rod apiece, for each prince one according to their father's houses, even 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron was among their rods. And Moses laid up the rods before Yahuwah.
Go ahead.
And Moses laid up the rods before Yahuwah in the tabernacle of witness. And it came to pass that on the morrow Moses went into the tabernacle of witness. And behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and brought forth buds, and bloomed blossoms, and yielded almonds.
Tell them what budded means.
That is parak, to bud, sprout, shoot, to bloom.
Go ahead.
And Moses brought out all the rods from before Yahuwah unto all the children of Yasharal, and they looked, and took every man his rod. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, bring Aaron's rod again before the testimony, to be kept for a token against the rebels. You shall quite take away their murmurings from me, that they die not. And Moses did so as Yahuwah commanded, so did he. And the children of Yasharal spake unto Moses, saying, Behold, we die, we perish, we all perish.
Let me answer this question, Sid. What Aaron name?
The light bearer.
So the light bearer budded or brought forth fruit. This rod is what's put, you could give it a definition of rod, then you can go to Exodus 39 and about 30.
Rod is matah, a staff, a branch. You got tribe, you got branch of a vine, you got shad.
So the branch brought forth fruit. And in the bringing forth of that fruit, that branch and that fruit of that branch is left in that covenant or that in that chest as evidence of what? Of the fruit. Now we know that he said that the manna was representative of his body. You know what I'm saying? So you got the fruit, you got his body, and what was the other thing in there? The golden censer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's representative of his life. Along with the 2 tables of stone, which is representative of his witness. And then when you sit back and look at that, you see that his witness do what? Bring forth fruit, bring forth light, and bring forth life. Come on with Exodus 39.
That's 1 Kings 7.
What he-
With that, the molten seed and the pillars.
Okay, we read, you said 1 Kings 7, we read it in the law. They can see that in the law, then we go to Kings. Exodus 39 and 30.
And they made the plate of the Kadash crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like to the engravings of a signet, Kadash to Yahuwah. They tied unto it a lace of blue, and fastened it on high upon the mitre, as Yahuwah commanded Moses. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation finished. And the children of Yasharal did according to all that Yahuwah commanded Moses, so did they.
Right.
And they brought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent, and all its furniture, his hatches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of ram skin dyed red, and the covering of badger skin, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table and all the vessels thereof, and the shewbread, the pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle.
See that golden altar, that's on the inside. We'll see that in a second. That's on the inside. That's the stuff where that atonement sacrifice went in there. Go ahead.
The brazen altar and his grate of brass, his staves and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets.
That's this right here, what he just read. That's the brazen altar. You can see the hangings on the outside. Go ahead.
And the hanging for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation. The cloths of service to do service in the Kadash.
That's good. 1 Kings 7, make it 17.
And nets of checker work and wreaths of chain work for the chapiters which were upon the top of the pillars, even one for one chapiter in each, and 7 for the other chapiter. And he made the pillars 2 rows round about with one network to cover the chapiters that were upon the top, the pomegranates, and so did the other chapiter. The chapiters that were upon the top of the pillars were of lily work, and the porch 4 cubits. And chapiters upon the 2 pillars had pomegranates also above, over against the belly, which was by the network. Pomegranates were 200 in rows round about upon the other chapiter. And he set up the pillars in the porch of the temple, and he set up the right pillar, and called the name thereof Jachin, and he set up the left
Now, y'all
pillar.
can't see that, but those are the 2 pillars that's in front of, you can't really see it right here. You see those right there? We ain't talked about this in a while. There's Jachin and what's the other one?
Boaz.
Y'all remember what they mean? We dealt with this before. It's been a long time. So dealing with what we dealing with, we can circle back. But before you read those definitions, simply, just read me Revelation 21 and 20. Because if we're going to talk about emergency schools, man, we can talk about the whole house.
The 5th sardonyx, the 6th sargis, the 7th chrysolite, the 8th beryl, the 9th a topaz, the 10th a chrysoprasus, the 11th a jacinth, and the 12th an amethyst. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of 1 pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass.
Right.
I saw no temple therein.
You saw no what?
No temple therein.
Why?
For the Lord Elohim Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it.
Now, of course, the things that we discussing, everything that's in that temple represent everything that the Father and the Son are. Like, we ain't finna be in no temple with no brazen altar. That's what you sacrificing for. You know, if you got animals in there, what animals gonna do? They gonna defecate. You know what he said? Ain't nothing gonna be in that city, Lil Johnny. What he say ain't gonna be in that city? That ain't what he said. It's close, but it's no cigar. Nothing that defiles. Oh, I say it's close. I say, bump that, I'm tired. Come on back to First Kings here. I say, it's been a long night, man. So you ever cleaned a defiled toilet? I have. I mean, he seen one of you. He said he might have seen a couple. Hey, we did a house. He told me, man, y'all be able to clean that toilet because this house been foreclosed on. I'm not cleaning that. Y'all finna demo this hole anyway. Leave that toilet alone. Come on, say what verse you talking
21.
about? That's your favorite rapper, ain't it, huh? He said 5 years ago. So you couldn't tell. He just walk around the house for no reason, like he got Tourette's. 20.
I've been on that Google lately, man.
Not Guru. That boy been gone a long time. Nah, you go to look at you realize watch that boy been married about 10 years, man.
I guess so, yeah.
I just really seen somebody was dead. I was like, damn, that nigga dead 10 years. Shoot, you look at they talking about Michael Jackson, shoot, that boy creeping up on 20.
And he set up the pillars and the porch of the temple, and he set up the right pillar and called the name thereof Jachin.
Tell them what that Jachin means. I know what Boaz means.
That is, he will establish.
So one pillar means he will establish. The other?
And Boaz is fleetness.
Swiftness. He will establish swiftly. And what he said, I come quickly. Go ahead.
And upon the top of the pillars was lily work, so was the work of the pillars
You can
finished.
see it on a little bit. You see the top of that pillar? You'd have to push it forward and zoom out. But that's where you see the top of that. You see that? I think it's put a bull in your face. They want to be all cinematic and whatnot. Now you see. That's the lily work. They go to all the cars. You like cars, don't you see? You got a white man. You can see this is an elaborate structure. You know what I'm saying?
Them little side pockets, where they put all where they say all the gold and
Yeah, the storehouse.
the store.
Read in Malachi 3, 3 and 8. Storehouse. You know what I'm saying? And then we can read in 2 Kings.
That's pretty much what Hezekiah showed. See them all up in the side.
Yeah, you showing them all the gold at. Wow, what you showing all my money for, boy? What he did though. He like, look what we got. Rob this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Rob a nigga be ready for a nigga like you showing everything. Yeah, man, look what I got. You ain't T.I. boy, they finna come and get you, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, sis.
Well, a man robbed God, yet have you robbed me. But you say, wherein have we robbed you? And tithes and offerings. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation.
Go ahead.
Bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. And prove me now, herewith saith Yahuwah of hosts, if I'll not open to you the windows of Shamaim and pour you out a blessing.
See, that's the storehouse. Let me see, man. I'll come over here to Kings. 2 Kings chapter 12. You can pick it up at verse 4. And that's just for admin so you can see where they stored this stuff at. You can read what they talk about it since you've seen a visual representation of it.
And Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the dedicated things that is brought into the house of Yahuwah, even the money of everyone that passed the account, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that comes into any man's heart to bring into the house of Yahuwah. Let the priests take it to them, every man of his acquaintance. Let them repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found. But it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the breaches of the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest, and the other priests, and said unto them, Why repair you not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, but deliver it for the breaches of the house.
Give them what breaches. Now, this is a time period where the house was not in its proper standing. So they were doing things to strengthen the house. Now, we talked about this before, because this pertains to, in the New Testament, as forth as testimony-wise, of the men doing the work to strengthen the house being the people.
This is Badek, you got a fissure, a rent, a breach.
So you have a breach, a fissure.
You got a gap.
What is a gap? You know, in another place he said there's no man to stand in the gap. He told you what causes you to be separated from God but your sin. So he said they need to repair the gap. That's another part of, that's what a preacher's job is to mend the gap. Because wherever there's sin at, there's separation between. See, that done piss me off. He walking around with that because he ought to get killed. Nah, for real, bro, because it's stuff like that people don't realize that. Now, see, these is the, remember when they tell you about the animal with the faces and all this here? And the pomegranate, this was on the door. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we can come back next week, pull this same video up and look at it. Because then I know we done read it off the paper plenty of times, but this is the first time we didn't have a chance to read it off the paper and you can look at it. And you can see it. You know what I'm saying? So that when you read it off the paper as forth as you can actually see, like, this is exactly what he told them to get, how to make his house. You know what I'm saying? But keep on going, say, because forth is that storehouse part.
And the priest
pause it right there.
And the priest consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it and set it beside the altar on the right side as one coming to the house of Yahuwah.
Now see, he said that, what he talking about, this guy set up on the inside. In this area right here, because this is what we would call the what? This is the holy place, or the Mikdash. This is the sanctuary. You see what I'm talking about? You think somebody coming in there, sitting in there, here's some work, but you see that, that's gold in that one. This whole area, and you can see that if we was to go back and read in 1 Chronicles 28, the stuff that it said that David and all the people gave willingly, that's why they had to give all that stuff to make this. Because remember, well, how did David say that the house should look? You don't remember. Civic, help him out. You know what it is? I'm gonna give you the verse. I know what the word is. Start with an M. That do something for you? See, but give me 1 Chronicles 29:1.
Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon my son, whom alone Elohim have chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great. For the palace is not for man, but for Yahuwah Elohim. Now I prepare with all my might for the house of my Elohim, the gold for things to be made of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and the brass for brass, and the iron for iron, and wood for things of wood, onyx stones and stones to be set, glistering stones and of diverse colors, and all manner of precious stones, and marble stones in abundance.
That thing got to be nice, boy. Yeah, it got to be nice. Now I'm gonna get you the other. I didn't want you to hear what I ain't gonna describe. This place got to be nice now. Go ahead.
Moreover, because I have set my affection to the house of my Elohim, I have of my own proper good of gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my Elohim over and above all that I have prepared for the Kadash house. 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the house withal.
Listen, that man say refined silver to put on the wall. Prime it. This ain't the finish, obviously, because this gold. Now you can see why I say the city gonna be made, have streets made out of paved gold, look like transparent glass. So that's how it's got to look. But go to First Chronicles 22:1. So you can get the verbiage of what I'm referring to.
Then David said, "This is the house of Yahuwah Elohim. This is the altar of the burnt offering for Yasharal." David commanded to gather together the strangers that were in the land of Yasharal. He set masons to hew wrought stones to build the house of Elohim.
Make the strangers do it.
And David prepared iron in abundance for the nails of the doors of the gates and for the joinings, and brass in abundance without weight. Also cedar trees in abundance for the Zidonians, and they of Tyre brought much cedar wood to David. David said, "Solomon, my son, is young and tender. The house that is to be built for Yahuwah must be exceeding.
White folks put in there, young and tender. That's great. Go ahead.
For Yahuwah must be exceeding magnifical.
It's got to be exceedingly magnifical.
Of fame and of esteem throughout all countries."
Anybody hear you? Tell them what magnifical means. That's what I said. Who heard you? Nobody. Like East West. Nobody.
That's Gadol, to grow or become great or important.
So I don't know why they put magnifical there. Because Gadol just means like great. Gadol is a regular Hebrew word. How they got magnifical out of that is amazing. He just said the house got to be great.
But if the word before is above or exceeding,
It's got to be above great.
Sound exceedingly great. Yeah.
That's white people for you.
But he said magnificent.
Magnificent. But magnificent don't do the job. You need to be magnificent. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't mad at that one. All the translations, I ain't mad at that.
It's got to be magnificent. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in splendor. It's got to be a great place. Come on back to 2 Kings, man. Then we can roll this out. You just really like this here, right? So again, like I said, this is the Mikdash. This is what we call the sanctuary. Even though this is what we call a sanctuary in this day and time, but that's the actual sanctuary in the text. This is what they were talking about with Paul, when Paul said, "I ain't never brought no uncircumcised Gentile in here." Because no Gentile couldn't come in here. Come on.
In verse 9, it said, "But Johanan the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it and set it beside the altar on the right side as one coming to the house of Yahuwah. And the priest that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of Yahuwah. And it was so, when they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king's scribes and the high priest came up, and they put it up in bags and told the money that was found in the house of Yahuwah. They gave the money being told into the hands of them that did the work.
They gave the money in the hands of them that did the what?
That did the work.
What?
That had the oversight of the house of Yahuwah.
We talk about that. We got to go no more. Let it run, man.
And they laid it out.
Oh, you good? Let it run.
They laid it out to the carpenters and builders.
You can stop.
You got me for it. You were looking down.
You were looking down. It's loud. See what say, "Bump, what you talking about, nigga?" Pause. Now you see this here? Who know what this is? That's the incense. You see the wall? Hey, my boy, I don't need that. You see all the candlesticks. You see the two, you know what I'm saying? Facing each other. Go ahead. We can read that in the law about the incense like next week if the Lord permits.
And they laid it out to the
No.
carpenters.
Talk about the video. You see them trees? See, we said, "Bump this junk, you throwing me off." Like this junk, nigga. Quit. You see them, what does it look like? Some bread over there for you, man? That's your shoe bread. That's the table. You know what I'm saying? That's that bread that David them stepped to and was like, "Do you got some common bread in here?" He said, "The only thing I got is hollow bread." That's what we read earlier in 1 Samuel 21. Go ahead.
Jewish people, man.
Hey, he walk around passing it around, man. This thing ain't got no gloves on. Oh, and he eat it. Now take it. This is where you about to walk into the holy place. That's what you about to get to. It's the holy place. Now remember in Revelation they say this incense in the temple is symbolic of what? The prayers of the saints. Go ahead. I said we gotta wait till the sun come up and we read it. If it's necessary. They taking their time showing all these cutscenes. Now stop. Now there's what? That's the altar. Now we're gonna have to grab that. No, that's the temple. No, that's the temple of Yahuwah. No, that temple is no longer on the earth, son. It doesn't exist. Exodus 30:1. That's the temple. That's a visual representation of the temple of Yahuwah.
Saying, you shall make an altar to burn incense upon, of shittim wood shall you make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 square shall it be. 2 cubits shall be the height thereof. The horns thereof shall be of the same. You shall overlay it with pure gold, the top thereof, and the sides thereof round about.
You see that? That's just so you can see what's in Exodus. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
So you shall
Random
overlay with
white.
pure gold, the top thereof, the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof, and you shall make it unto it a crown of gold round about. The 2 golden rings shall you make to it under the crown of it by the 2 corners thereof. On the 2 sides of it shall you make it, and they shall be for places for the staves to bear it withal.
Now, what is that on this TV screen that y'all looking at? That's the Ark of the Covenant. Stop, son. Read them Exodus 25 and 31, say just because. Now, what? Stop. Get up. Watch out, son. Stop the video. Run it back. What is white man doing? Now, pause. This is a terrible representation of the priest's garments. This is cheap. Because number one, that don't look like no linen. That look like some cotton. This is the outfit of Exodus 28. This whole garment is supposed to be fine linen. And it's supposed to be blue, scarlet, and purple. This is the breastplate. I would wager that solid gold. And he's supposed to have a pouch with the names of the 12 tribes of Yasharal so he can remember them. Remember we read that? He ain't got that on him. And he outside the gate. You know what I'm saying? But that's how these people, that is what you call cosplaying. Pause. Now you see, that's the first curtain. Go ahead.
I'm saying you will speak unto Moses.
It's all right. There's 2 of y'all. It's all right. See, y'all stress me out. When people say I'm overstimulated. It's funny they say overstimulated instead of saying I'm stressed out. Now, why they got a nigga with an Egyptian hat on? They dead wrong for that, bro. That's an Egyptian hat, bro. Now pause. Wait a minute. Let me see if we can bring it down. You can look at it and see. But now, I want y'all to see the mercy seat, what it looked like. Because it's not as elaborate as you would think. You see that right there at the top? That's the mercy seat. Right there. Now see, those are the winged creatures. They just don't need that hat. That's an Egyptian hat. see it? Well, no, that's just the inside of it, and they don't really have them curtains as a proper, they got that door. You know what I'm saying? But effectively, like we saw in the other part, it's supposed to be a curtain right here. And the high priest goes behind this curtain on atonement. But when Yahushua was crucified and died, that curtain rent. And then we can get the Songs of Solomon 5 and 3. And we'll stop right there because it's 3 o'clock. Come on, my boy.
You want the Exodus 25? I'll be good with that.
No, Songs of Solomon 5 and 3. I'll deal with that on another day.
Said I have put off my coat, how shall I put it on? I have washed my feet, how shall I defile them? My beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door, my bowels were moved for him. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands dropped with myrrh, my fingers with sweet smelling myrrh upon the handles of the lock.
You can really get the verse in. I got it.
And the watchmen that went about the city found me, they smote me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me.
They took away my veil from me. Give him veil right there.
This is raw deeds, something spread, wide wrapper or large veil.
They took away my covenant. Because they took that away, now what can happen? Now you can see. What you can see is the testimony is revealed. What we read about Moses, so on and so forth. But Lord willing, we could come back next week, because what we didn't look at? We didn't look at the candlestick. What we need to look at the table. I mean, we looked at the table. What else it is? You've seen the shewbread. Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about to come back and read it. I don't know if it's a video that's going to give us Aaron's rod. But you got the golden censer, the altar. Well, some of the stuff that we looked at, we can come back next week and go through it and then try to catch the stuff that we didn't look at. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, as far as text is concerned, so you can see it. And then testimony-wise, it makes sense. And or we can look at the construction of the temple, or where those things are put together in contract. Or what you read in the law is the stuff that was put in the tabernacle of the congregation, which of course is the same things that's put in the temple. But with Solomon, you're going to see those things actually being constructed in a kind of a repeat of the materials used for it. Then, of course, gospel-wise, you can be able to look at all those things. Yahushua represents both the pillars. This stuff we done looked at in the focus. It's probably been about 10 years. Or close to it. So it's time to read it. And then, of course, it represents that mercy seat. Because that mercy seat represents him sitting on his throne. Once that curtain is removed, the secret things are revealed. And now you can draw near to somebody. You want to shoot on somebody. Ask Mr. Johnny. Go ahead. So, hallelujah for Yahushua the word. I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Y'all willing, we'll be back on Wednesday and make it do what it do. Like I said, that's up to y'all on the because I can do live streams from the phone at least twice a week if y'all want to have member only streams. It's not a big deal. If you don't want to do it, we gotta do it. That's up to y'all. Members only streams will be meaning that whatever members have questions about, want to go over, discuss and all that's what that's for. That's not nothing I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna go through this, that, and the third. That would be explicitly and specifically what y'all would want to discuss. It means we just have to set up, whether in the group chat or whatever the case may be, or you hit my phone directly on specifically what you want to discuss, which means that has to be sent to me beforehand. I can do that on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? Sundays, it don't make no difference. But whatever works for y'all, if that's something you want to do. Like I said, I ain't got to do it. If you want to do it, then and we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And that way, that stuff that's, this is it's for everybody in here, and then of course people on the stream, but the member stuff, that's especially I want to understand or discuss or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. That means to keep outside people from interfering. All right, now boy, you from the fall. But yeah. You approve Mika, but you also remember now we can do that for you if you want to do it now. But you remember Mika say, pray for her. She going through some things. She want all y'all to pray for her right now though. Because her breath stank. I'm dead serious about that. She do though. I'm gonna cut the camera. Watch out, son. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And much love, man. Y'all with it, man. Till Wednesday. But yeah, we almost at 3 hours. I didn't even realize we were going.